Right, I am Mark, your kind and generous dungeon master, and if you're sitting comfortably, we will begin. The Forest Ridge beckons. Last time our heroes were there, it was wonderful. Everybody nearly died from heat exposure, and the Three Queen got a nasty case of fungal crotch rot. It was very, very embarrassing and extremely uncomfortable for him. However, our heroes have learned that this is the road they must take. After finally reaching the lost fortress of Akaraklakakle, they learned that the Sarnatrix, and indeed the Order of Sarnacists, known as the Order, were lairing in the fortress of Dasarachis in the Dragon's Crown Mountains. It was in the name of the adventure all along, and nobody ever knew. The Dragon's Crown Mountains lie beyond the Tablelands, beyond the Ringing Mountains, beyond the Forest Ridge, in a vast, expansive wilderness known only by rumor, known as the Hinterlands. To reach it, our heroes will have to retrace steps they have previously trod across the high mountain passes and through the inhospitable darkness of the forest, home to a large proportion of short, hungry people. Somewhere in this direction also has gone their ally and mentor, the Evangion Korgunard, last heard from in an unpleasant psychic shriek. Now our heroes have resolved both to find Dragon's Crown Mountains and Dasarachis, and hopefully also reunite with their friend Korgunard. In the meantime, they came back to Tyr and slightly got arrested for murdering Trevalis Minthor, but responded, as do all law-abiding citizens, by setting fire to the police station and liberating their friends in a flurry of flames, screams, and confusion. Having also stitched up Verassi for the murder of his own father, the heat is currently off our heroes. Heat, that's a fire elemental joke. And now they are gathered together at Matthias's villa, planning the next stage of their expedition. Tick has taken one look at them and said, "Forest, fuck no," although he probably can't say fuck because he hasn't got any lips. But something equivalent in Kreen, and he has hied off to the dunes to do the bug dance. In the meantime, the party has been rejoined by the diminutive Makfari, a Jazal preserver, who was only just recently heard of their return to Tyr, and he's only too happy to risk life and limb and scale tramping around the forests in search of some weird glowy dude and a mountain chain he's never even heard of. I will pass it over to you for large amounts of arguing over who gets to cast the spells that will protect you from the dehydration in the forest, and exactly how many halfling guards are taking with you, who's carrying the water, and other assorted things. I'll go have a little lie down, and someone can WhatsApp me when you're ready to carry on with the game, please.
Right.
We've changed plans now. We're not going to the Forest Ridge anymore. We're going to go kill Farassi's son.
We're going to Disneyland.
Where's the Sam Block for Dote Malpain and his brother Boat Malpain?
We can this time go to Golg on our own volition.
Yeah, we don't need you to tell us to go. We'll go ourselves.
I'm just going to pick up a giant water tower, whack it on my back, and I'm going to carry 100 gallons of water for this trip.
Yeah, and the question about how many halflings we need is, realistically, how many halflings will fit in a trench coat? That's the question.
How big is the trench coat?
Trench coat would be very warm, though, so it would be really stifling in there. And then we'd probably end up needing more water.
So, Bingle Bangle, you have a significant number of halflings who came over the mountains to serve alongside you. You could take a group of those with you as scouts, should you so wish, of course.
Yeah, I'd say maybe half a dozen.
Half a dozen.
As scouts.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to name all of them, though.
I've already got names for them.
The seven dwarfs from Snow White.
Yeah.
Jossa will be... Jossa, the commander of your little battalion, will be remaining behind for the other troops. But she designates Drico, who you recall as being particularly aggressive, and he brings with him his brother Lobo, who is not as aggressive but also not as bright, and 4 others who we will address as they need be. But they are indeed
Drico, Logo, Bobo, Weirdo.
It's going to be like the guards of the Black Sand Raiders if you're not careful. In their short, unhappy careers.
Greg's my favorite. I'm biased.
Greg.
But okay, you have a little word with your halfling followers who are now stationed at the party's growing encampments outside town around the caravanserai and your current holdings.
Excellent.
And they immediately begin preparing themselves for the journey back across the mountains. Quite excited at the prospect as well. Ra, you have acquired water for the group and have slung a couple of huge water carriers, a couple hanging from the front, a couple hanging from the back, each one carrying 25 gallons of water.
Am I assuming that we've already kind of said hi and all that, or
that's completely fine. I'm just detailing the amount of water that Ra's carrying, which comes to about 100 gallons. But yes, please go ahead, McFiery, and I've been waiting too long to hear your dulcet tones.
You just see I
wasn't sure if I was at the villa or if I was meeting them there, or I don't.
He's saying yes, go ahead, but it feels like you're being told off.
The narrative.
Well, actually, from what I remember, I was actually staying at Matthias's villa, taking care of the place while they were off traipsing around the countryside. I've been living like a king with a bunch of halflings. I'm like,
just got a halfling harem
eat
going
at stores
on.
of food. I don't mind. It's not my stuff.
It's like chicken
you just
back on the
seen
menu.
Hi,
guys.
Hi guys.
Hello there.
I've got your money, Matthias. I owed you money, remember?
Oh, yes. I almost forgot about that. How much was it again? See if you do remember.
I don't remember how much I owe you.
50,000 ceramic pieces.
I think it might have been like 500.
It was 2,000 ceramic pieces.
It was 2,000? That's a lot of money. My goodness. Well, I'll give it to you then.
You can keep it.
Where'd you get that from, buddy? Where'd you get that?
I'm a very entertaining entertainer.
What did you do to my halflings, buddy?
I was entertaining them.
Well, McFarry, it's good to have you back. All right, who's ready to go to the forest ridge?
We're going to the forest ridge?
Forest ridge? Yeah.
I'm so confused right now.
Me too. Don't worry.
You can come with us if you'd like, although it's quite hot. Hence these, and I'll like pat the giant water tanks.
Well, I didn't have any other plans, so why not?
Sounds good. Well, do we need anything else before we go?
Yep, Portek is going into town to replace his destroyed leather armor.
Yes, good idea.
And he's also going to check up on his outstanding order to see whether those spells could be, those restoration spells could be acquired.
Why don't you take my level?
Restoration spells. Yeah.
Weren't the items in the chest saved?
Oh, no, by 3%. Jesus, that's cool. 2 months you've been away, haven't you? And no, by about 71%.
Why don't you take my leather armor, Portek?
No. What leather armor do you have?
I'm not using it anymore.
You had quality Inex leather armor.
But
you need to get a new suit because you're not
not a human.
Shanks.
Yeah,
no, exactly. Okay, cool. So yeah, Portek, you browse the Elven market and coming away a little bit disappointed. The elf Stormwind, who's been procuring much of this stuff for you, explains that only the most powerful amongst the druids and the Templars are able to scribe such scrolls.
I'm well aware.
I have never seen one for sale, but I will keep looking for you.
Please. Yes, please. Yes, it's important that we find at least one.
Good. Well,
yeah.
I will continue to search, my lord.
I take it that Honey and Bumble are okay.
Sure.
The halflings have eaten them.
Oh, dang it.
No, I'm kidding. They're fine. And yes, Arnout, you can brew up a little dose of silkworm venom. Nice. Okay.
That's one of the things I can do, right? It's just a free thing I can do.
Absolutely. Yep. Freebie. Yep. Paralytic. Yeah. Good.
Portek will also.
No, not silkworm. Silt serpent. Silt serpent.
Oh, silt serpent. Oh, yeah. Cool. The lethal one. Yeah.
Yes.
I can make that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Constantine, you of course will doubtless recall the trip that was made last time. You were point man. It's a couple of days up the Tyr Valley, and then you hit the foothills of the Ringing Mountains at West Wall, the old settlement. That's assuming you're taking the same route as you did before. Then there are passes, low passes and high passes. At this time of year, not that Athas can be said to have seasons, but there is some slight temperature variation. You think the passes should be hospitable enough to get you through without running into too much bad weather. Once on the other side of the mountains, of course, that's an entirely different matter.
I will, in fact, lead. I'll use my navigation if I have to take the best path. If at any point in time somebody defers or otherwise speaks up with a different path, without saying a word, I will drop behind them and motion for them to lead.
Good.
Portek also quickly drops by Kirodias to ask her to see whether she can also inquire in other markets that she has access to for a restoration.
Your characters cannot communicate. Both of them explode for your impudence. But okay, fine. I will overlook that flagrant abuse of the character tree system because I am kind and generous. And I will instead simply move on and ask you as a group if there's any specific preparations you want me to take into account before you mount up on your kanks and enixes and hie your way up the Tyr Valley toward the mountains.
I would perhaps like to send a message ahead to Karana if that's where we're going. Right?
Well, you don't actually know where Korgunard went, but as far as Dragon's Crown goes, I think I shared a map of that last time.
We saw it on the map.
So
I was just assuming we'd go to the settlement we know
Karana.
is there, in the forest ridge, but
out of...
Okay, so can you see the overall map, yeah?
Yeah.
On roll 20. Okay.
Yes.
Mine's a bit blurry at the moment. But that's Tyr here. I think.
Yeah.
I can't really tell because it's super blurry.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Korana is right over the mountains here. Just there.
Yeah.
And Dragon's Crown, of course, is way up there.
Yeah.
So, Korana would make a sensible stop. And it's somewhere that you know, and you can maybe kind of reprovision there. So, I mean, by sending a message ahead, do you want to send one of the halflings? Like a high speed runner kind of thing?
Yeah.
To carry word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yes.
And then when he's delivered word, I suppose meet us back on the path.
Okay.
Mark, can I have time to acquire a mount?
Yes, no problem at all.
And what would be an efficient mount for the forest ridge?
The short answer is none. As Tin will tell you from the last trip that the party took, it's almost impossible to take your mounts up into the mountains. They'll carry you as far as West Wall, assuming you're going to tether them there. Last time you found some farmer there and paid him to look after them, if I recall correctly. But once you get up into the high peaks, I mean, it's going to be like this, and the forest itself, of course, is a maddening labyrinth of interlocking trees and vines. So mounts is not something that you're going to be taking with you.
So we'd literally only be using it to get that little short distance from Tyr to the Ringing Mountains.
Yeah, exactly, and that'll cut. That would normally be what are we looking at? Like a day on foot, and you can cut it down to half a day or just a few hours of hard riding.
But TLDR, Tin tells you no mounty mount.
Okay, I won't bother then.
I'd like to ask the halflings if they can recommend anything to deal with the humidity there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there anything that is? I know it's gonna sound really weird, but like, is there a kind of like sunscreen almost that could be given, like an ointment or something?
Drico looks you all up and down. You're all too tall, so you need to be at least a half or quarter of your normal height, and that helps regulate the body temperature. So
okay, not everyone is a halfling. You need to think about the bigger picture here.
I'm pretty small.
Well, yes.
Lizard boy here will be fine, probably, I think, Drico says. I don't know, I'm lying. But as for sunscreen, you said, I've heard tell that there are herbalists within our tribes who have developed a certain salve that can be made from some of the fruits of the forest ridge that allows the skin to feel cool, helps it breathe, and stops the humidity from overheating you. Once we get over the mountains, if any of you have such abilities, I'm sure you can find the...
I'm a herbalist.
Oh, well, there you go.
Is as well.
Well, what are you all complaining about then?
Well, we don't know what fruit is it?
Do I know which fruit it is?
It is the jalabi fruit.
Ah, the famous jalabi fruit.
Jalabi fruit.
Can we buy those here in Tyr?
I don't know. Go to the market and find out.
I go to the market and find out. I'll use my newly found information gathering skill to see if I can find some.
You do indeed find someone who is delivering several jalabi fruits to the hungry halfling. And they have a couple of them available for sale that have been a bit bruised. One of them's had something some little wormy thing trying to eat inside it. That's not going to go down well with the clientele, but they can still be pulped and turned into coverings, if you like, into salve.
How much would you like for these?
The trader kind of looks you up and down.
It's mostly down.
Yeah, mostly down. A silver piece each, please. He says.
Oh, come on. That's a bit too much, isn't it?
Macfari has been living the high life recently, moving in high social circles, and it shows. Yes. So this guy obviously figures you for an easy mark.
I have bardic negotiating skills.
I am with him. So.
I'm a bard too, dude.
Yeah.
Can I try
if you want to pull a bargaining roll, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll try. Oh no, dude, bargain. No, do you get bargaining as a bard, or is that a trader thing?
It's a trader thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. I'll just pay him the silver because I'm a fancy little lizard.
Pay the man and damn his impudence.
Yeah, damn his impudence.
I was.
Sorry. Damn his impudence.
Okay, the trader looks shocked, then tries to hide it, and then smiles and thanks you and hurries off to the hungry halfling before you change your mind.
Okay, so you have my head.
It's okay. It's okay. Come, fatty. Come.
Say,
fatty.
Bit personal. Okay, so you have 2 jalabi fruits, and from those you can make enough to cover a single medium person or 2 small persons. So one will give yourself a couple of days dose, or a single human a single day dose, and for Ra it would require both of them. But you will hopefully be able to find more once you're in the forest.
Yes.
Does a jalabi fruit have seeds?
Yes.
It's from a tree, right?
Yes, from the jalabi tree.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm believing you immediately.
You're making this up as you go along.
Can you describe to us what this fruit looks like?
Yes, it's about this big, and it is a pale blue in color, speckled like a hen's egg.
Can you tell us what Ra sees, though?
What's the consistency? What's the consistency of the fruit?
It's like dragon fruit mixed with a banana.
And if you slice it, is it blue on the inside?
It is very, very, very dark blue on the inside.
Shit, he's got us.
This is actually a pretty cool
fruit. What does it taste
now.
like if we eat it?
I kind of.
It tastes like a jalabi fruit. I just told you.
Witness the birth of lore.
as they're trying to swindle this poor salesman, I will grab onto Ra's arm and pull her down a little, and just say, "I can situate your armor so that way you'll be able to let off more of the humidity and the heat." And I'll tap her leg the same way I did when I was using my magic secretly on the farm, kind of letting her know like he's not situated. He's not going to situate her armor.
So, if you could give me some of the seeds of those fruits when you are finished with making your potion.
Okay, I will spend a little bit of time back at the villa making the pulp and giving Portek the seeds.
Ra, meanwhile, her brain is just like, what? Huh? Just trying to work out what Tin meant.
All right. By the end of that morning, you are prepared. And there remains only the farewell to Tyr.
Mark, given that I'm now the druid and I have the pathfinding ability that makes us faster, would we get there faster this time? I was not a druid last time.
Yes, absolutely.
I do want to check. Zorak is like alive and well, right?
Yes, Zorak is fine. He's super happy to see you.
Oh, met someone else.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, bye.
Hi, bye. Just wanted to make sure he was living still.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you come back, you'll have died of dysentery.
Yeah.
Neglect.
just
some bad something fruit. What is it?
Jalabi fruit.
Some bad jalabi fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
And so away from Tyr you are, mounted on your Enixes and Kanks, and heading up the Tyr Valley toward the rising mass of the Ringing Mountains.
I will play a travel ditty on the
Lakora.
Lakora.
Nice. Oh, I'm going to start skipping and dancing.
Okay. The journey is swift. The sun high overhead and yet slightly obscured by the ever rising valley and mountain walls around you. You leave and tether the mounts at the ruins of Westwall, and then Tin is once more leading the way up, away from the lower ground, and into the foothills of the Ringing Mountains. You've made this journey before. You know what to expect. Last time there was an avalanche that nearly killed half the party. But Tin's insistence that the roads will be kinder this time is, initially at least, borne out. As you rise out of the valley, there is a low layer of mist that you pass through as the colder air from the mountains meets the warmer air from the valley. And for a brief amount of time, you're enveloped in cool grayness. Moisture on your skin, on your face, on your tongues as you open your mouths. And then finally, you emerge through the far side, and ahead of you, the Ringing Mountains rise in their majesty. Up and into them you climb. Tin's advice holds true. You keep to the lower passes. Tin, can you just make me a couple of quick mountaineering checks?
I don't want to. How many's a few?
Properly? 2.
Oh, I'm not good at mountaineering. This is going to suck.
Perfect. Next one.
I clicked it twice. You should see it in a moment if you haven't seen it already.
Ideal. Excellent. Okay. So that first roll there is as good as it gets. You navigate the path perfectly. Past the camp where you avoided the Gith the last time, past the avalanche site, it's almost indistinguishable, but indeed you can see a huge spread of scree where poor Tibo was nearly buried alive last time you were past here. Tin is completely and perfectly on point. He leads you around the jackknifing passes, higher and higher, until you begin to reach the top of the pass that leads toward the forest ridge. And there, you spot something strange. Watching you from one of the outcrops of rocks is the unmistakable form of a Kire. The huge green hided forest cats whom attacked you silently once you were inside the forest ridge. Bingle Bangle, you know immediately this is unusual. These are not mountain creatures. What are they doing prowling around on the tops of the forest ridge?
There's
No
just
answer
the one
comes.
or more.
There's two of them, in fact. As you draw higher, this one bounds away down the rocks, and an answering roar from the opposite side of the pass. You see another one. At the side of your large group, the two of them go scurrying off amidst the peaks. And then finally, it comes into view. You pass over the last lip of the ridge. I should point out that this has taken you only a single day. A quick camp, and then up in the morning for your first sight of the jungles. Either it's a combination of the weather or a combination of Constantine's increased expertise, but the journey this far has been almost completely without incident. Down below, the jungles beckon. For a moment, you pause in trepidation, but there's nothing for it but to press on ahead. And so with Chin at your lead, you begin to jackknife your way down the western face of the Ringing Mountains, and the temperature rises and the humidity rises, and with it comes the cries of forest animals and roars of the great beasts. Constantine, you said you were going to be casting something.
Yeah, if we're now in the jungle ridge, I'll kindly ask everybody just to look around a little bit for any kind of berries, anything of that nature that could help us for making herbalism potions, bandages, and while doing exactly the same, I am going to spell concealment and cast good weather on myself. Right. Okay. So tell me what good weather does. Good weather makes it good. No, creates an area of moderate weather. It's with the area affected. It's a sphere centered on and basically mobile with me.
Yeah.
Has a radius equal to 10 feet per my level.
Holy crap.
Yeah, a little big. And it's adjusted by as much as 20 degrees, and the wind speed as much as 10 miles per hour to the comfort of the creature.
And how long does it last? What's the duration?
1 hour per level.
Okay, right. So that's okay.
Nice. I was about to say we need to turn back because green doesn't look good on our overlay.
So I will be using spell concealment while I'm looking for things, so that way it's not
immediately obvious what is happening.
Yes.
Okay. You spend an hour or so, your little group, back and forth along the edge of the forest ridge, just gathering fruits and herbs and berries under Bagal's expert advice. And when you regroup, something is subtly different. The temperature has dropped. The wind is a cooling breeze. The humidity is all but gone.
Gal, does the forest here have seasons? It's really much more palatable than last time we were here.
Yeah, this is not at all as bad as you described.
Oh, it's good.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm complaining, huh? That's great.
I'll put my hand up and be like, I'm not going to complain. Should we move forward, or is there anything anyone else needed?
What did you want with these berries and stuff?
Let's just hold on to them. Either myself or McFari can use them for anything that we need. But while we're here, we could run into things that we normally wouldn't. So it seemed like a good time to look before we got too far in.
Yeah, I mean, if we're kind of obviously it's a very dense forest. Is it possible for me to keep an eye out using my herbalism skills just for interesting plants that are useful?
Yes,
and just kind of pluck them as we go.
Yes.
And just kind of stuff them in my pouch.
Yeah.
And if I pass by any Rannicky trees,
yeah,
I'll
for sure
get bits of wood of that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I will join in that.
Okay. Let's say that you managed to gather 4 doses of Rannicky sap on the ensuing little trip.
I specifically need the wood.
Okay. Sap or wood.
Yeah.
Completely fine.
I show him a handful of berries and stuff. Are these any good? I don't know what I'm looking for.
I believe those are toxic, but those ones are edible. Those are good.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you could help me with finding good edible berries and keep a stash, then we can.
Yeah, I'm kind of. You'll see, kind of McFarry's hopping back and forth, grabbing bits and pieces as he goes, so you can see which ones he's focusing on.
Because the edible ones I can ensorcel with healing ability. So
I'll hand over the ones that I picked then that are edible.
Good. Thus provisioned, you look to the road, the way ahead. Bingle Bangle, the last time you were here, you recall you had to find a certain river. There's a great waterfall, and after that, a river which would lead you downstream to Korana itself.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the route fairly well. And so you and your half-dozen halflings fan out ahead of the group and begin working your way between the trees. All of them chattering back and forward in the halfling tongue about how pleasant the weather is. What a difference it has made. The waterfall is not too hard to find. Before too long, your group is standing at its head, the water thundering down, the river itself snaking, and a great silver serpent through the forest toward your home. It's then that you notice the smoke. A messy line of it rising from the trees, a short distance from the river down below.
Yeah,
go ahead, sorry.
I asked at least two of my halflings to go down and have a scout of it.
Okay. Okay, Talgo and Yaz rush off into the forest, and to the rest of you, they're gone immediately, disappearing into the trees.
Are we all seeing the smoke?
Yeah, you can all see it. Doesn't look like a fire, and a campfire, maybe several campfires together. Maybe you're not sure, but there was certainly nothing like this here before.
And is it in the direction that we're walking, or we're going past it?
You're going to go down to the river itself and follow the river west, and it's just slightly a mile or so south of the river. So it's in the direction that you're going with the diversion.
I stay attentive.
Yeah.
Use my observation.
This waterfall, is it like, is it something you can dive off?
Yeah, you could if you made me an athletics or acrobatics check. You would probably do it without smashing your head on the rocks below as well. It's about 300 feet high. It's big.
Oh, it's quite high. Okay. I was just thought Matthias being
300 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthias being the one that
on the far side of the forest ridge, the mountains drop precipitously down. It's But I presume you take the safe path, at least, to the bottom.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. And Talgo and Yaz are waiting for you already at the bottom. And with them is Javo. We found this one coming back our way, Talgo says. Javo looks really nervous and upset. It's empty, he says. Quran is empty. There's nobody there.
What do you mean empty?
Abandoned. It looks like it's been attacked. I saw dead Kreen.
In the forest ridge.
In the ridge. Covered in all sorts of horrible stuff.
Oh my god.
Yaz takes him off to one side, and him and a couple of the other halflings, they settle Javo down and give him a little bit of broy to drink to calm his nerves.
I relay
Talga
what
says,
the halflings told me to the rest of the group.
Yeah. To the rest of you, there's lots of kind of fluty, birdy chatters back and forth.
Is that what those fires are about? Is that the burning camp or what?
I asked them.
Talgo shakes his head. No, when we got close to those, it looks like an old trading outpost. I think there was one there years ago that was abandoned, but someone's moved in. We didn't get too close, but there's tablelanders there, living there, a few of them, but also halflings. They might be halflings from Karana. They don't look well. There's quite a few of them.
What do you mean they don't look well?
Just the halflings don't look well, or all of them don't look well?
The halflings don't look well. There's he shakes his head. He can't put it in human tongues. He turns to you, Bagal. They have lost their connection with the heart of the forest. They lie about in the sun, scrabbling for food. Some serve the tablelanders.
And what has made them lose their connection?
I don't know.
I suppose we should investigate.
I'd say so.
Okay.
I keep my armor optimized, and I'll have my Latulus kind of ready just in case there was something that did it.
Yeah.
That's around still.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
I will likewise optimize my armor.
Okay. You prep yourselves and follow Talgo along the river edge, and then he takes you south. It is indeed a mile away from the river, and before too long, you come across a rocky path that probably ran between a river and little outposts, long since overgrown, but it has been excavated a little recently. Ahead of you, through the trees, you can make out a compound surrounded by a wooden stockade. It's got thatched buildings, and they stand close to the rock face of the mountains, where they're still marching their way into the depths of the forest. The gates are open, large, and a wide trail leads out the far side of the outpost into the depths of the forest. All around the compound, and even as you haven't even needed to go in yet, you're just kind of looking down toward the stockade and the thatched buildings inside, you do indeed see halflings. They're living in some considerable squalor. They lie still or crawl across one another, seeking shade or shelter from the flies. On the porch of the largest building are several humans seated in wicker chairs under the overhang of a veranda. Two halflings stand quietly and fan the humans with enormous palm fronds. You guys going in?
Yeah.
Humans are gross.
I hang back.
I'm with you. I hate those guys. Tin will also stay a little bit more towards the back of the group, considering his offensive nature to them and them to him.
I mean, hearing the, assuming people describe to me what is ahead.
Yes. Yes.
I immediately assume that these halflings have been kind of enslaved. So I'm very much on my guard and kind of ready to attack. Having my best mate be a halfling. I'm not very fond of them being enslaved.
Can I do a quick observation check to see if there's anything aside from the obvious? Maybe like hidden guards or...
I was going to do danger sense and the same thing.
I was also going to observe.
Both of you give me rolls for that, or anyone can give me rolls for those, and I'll give you replies. I'll put up a little map that shows you the rough outline of the outpost.
I'm going to go invisible when the people go in. Yeah?
Yep. Okay.
Are we on the left or the right-hand side?
So you guys, exactly where your counter is there. The little trail coming in on this side, and there's the big trail leading off into the forest on that side. And this where it says cliff at the bottom, that's the sort of the base of the most nearby mountain that the outpost has been built into the base of.
After being observant, is it possible for me to hide in shadows and be sneaky?
Yes, go ahead.
I got a 9.
You got it. Yeah, good. I'll get you answers in a second. And Portrait, that I said here you were going invisible. The spell.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. The energy rushes into you. By the way, Portek. It's almost like being punched. It's a sudden surge of life force. Really quite powerful. Because you're casting spells in the forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're treated as a couple of levels higher. It's treated as lush on the dividing preserving table. All right, so you're all putting encounters on there. How very cute. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a fight just because there's a map. Maybe just want to show you how things are.
I like to put myself in there. I'm sorry.
I'm not judging you. I
like to immerse myself.
I apologize.
I have won my observation, my sneaky, and my hidey rolls.
Good. Those of you who've made your rolls, which as I noticed there is everybody but Matthias.
Yep.
You missed it by one, Matthias. You don't see anything untoward like hidden guards at all. In fact, the place doesn't even appear to be guarded. The thing that really kind of catches your attention and is the humans sitting as if they're kind of enjoying an afternoon little snack together under the shade of the veranda, being fanned by being pampered.
Do they have any weapons on them?
From this distance, it's a little hard to tell, but you think some of them aren't actually humans. You see at least one mule among them and a dwarf. They're under the shade. It would be very unusual if they were unarmed, put it that way.
Okay.
At any rate, no one appears to have noticed you yet, and you're currently hung back from the... I will assume you're sort of in the cover of the trees there.
Where is the veranda on the map, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, please. That is... building... number, where is it? It's here.
Okay.
And these are wooden buildings?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Here. It's here.
Okay, here. So we're kind of looking through these double doors here?
Yeah, all through the bars of the stockade. Or,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And these are all wooden buildings?
They are all wooden buildings, yes. These have been here for some time. You can see that they're deeply embedded in the earth. In many cases, the outside of the stockade is overgrown with moss. The buildings themselves show signs of wear and tear, years and years of wear and tear. If what Talgo said is correct, this place was probably abandoned some time ago and has recently been reoccupied. almost certainly recently by halflings. Bagal, you recognize some of the accoutrements of the halflings, the dyes on their skin, the types of feathers in their hair. At least some of these are halflings of Karana. Others are not. So what are you guys doing?
Well, if nobody minds, I would like to liberate the halflings.
Let's
let's walk in. I'm going to be invisible and have a look around. Separate from you guys.
I'm happy to take front, being big.
No
and
one
spooky.
has any reservations about me murdering all of these people, right?
Well, let's talk to them first.
Let's at least ask their names. Just like,
No.
hey, who are you? And if they go, but they don't even have to finish the name.
You never
Just
know.
let them feel
They
like they
might
had a
have
chance.
saved them. Who knows? I don't
It
think
might
that's the
have been-
case.
They don't look like they're very happy.
Really, Matthias, they're humans. They probably enslaved them.
Let's just
Let's
ask
figure out
first.
what's going on. Yeah, let's get information first, and then you can always do the killing later.
I'll begin to head forward.
Sure. As I said, the gates are open, and there's no problem for you guys to head in there. I'll presume you're doing that. Portek, invisible. Tin, sneaking. So only 4 of your groupers are actually visible. The Jazal, half elf, halfling, and half.
I'm going to ask my halflings to hang back, and when I signal for them to aid
Draco
if we
nods.
need it.
We rush in and start slitting throats.
Absolutely.
Right, sir?
It's just dying. Wait, I said that out loud. Sorry.
He turns to the others, and there's lots of little kind of halfling hand signals and hissing and chuckling noises as they prepare their plans for attack. You think one of them is actually readying cooking spices at his belt in anticipation for what comes after. But,
Excellent.
Okay. As you emerge from the forest and enter the compound, the glassy eyes of the indigent halflings follow you with some interest. A small flock of halfling children come rushing from behind one of the buildings, and they're careening around your group, nipping in at your fingertips and pawing at your legs, and then rushing away again as soon as attention comes your way. The clamor of their voices draws some of the attention of the individuals on the veranda, and one of them steps down off the veranda and walks over towards you. A tall human with a wide, friendly grin that appears on his face. He's got graying, unkempt hair and a half a day's stubble on his face. And he shoos the halfling children away with bird-like hoots.
Excuse me.
Walks forward to face you.
Real quick, before anybody says anything, I'll be very quietly playing my Lakora in the background, and I'm going to do influence reactions.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Excuse
Kind of
me.
soothing music.
I thought influence reactions was just a diplomacy thing.
It's just kind of setting the tone, isn't it? I mean, unless I got that wrong.
I've never used it yet.
No. Influence reactions, sure. Before combat starts, it immediately can swing things in a... Oh, nice. Okay.
A -4 for my level, apparently.
Yeah. Magfari starts to strum a few notes, and the man's grin widens. And he looks back toward the others on the veranda and gestures in your direction, as if to say, see?
I was just wondering if you could give us some information.
Information? Well, what have we here coming out of the forest? Visitors? With musical accompaniments. What might you be looking for so far from home? Other than information, my fine, tall, blind friend?
I was told there's smoke nearby and some distressing things. I was wondering if you could give us any information on that.
he points toward the rest of you see him point toward the building on which on the veranda of which they've been sitting, and he's like about to, and then realizes, of course, you can't see it. There's smoke coming from the kitchen. If that's what you were seeing.
It was actually dead Kreen that was the problem.
Oh.
Muted Jade.
That's not here, Ra, but talking about the halfling village. What's happened there?
Where are the halflings from Korana?
Bungal Bungal? Stumbling out of the shadows of one of the guest huts, you see Tebow.
No, not Tebow. God damn it.
He runs forward and throws himself into your arms. You're here! Why are you here?
Why are you here? Are you okay?
Whoa! Oh, he's put on some muscle.
Wow.
No, we're not okay.
What's
you can
wrong?
See tears well in his eyes. Kreen came into the forest. Hundreds and hundreds of them. They've been sweeping in from the hinterlands, killing everything they find. We just got out of Korana. Some of us came here. Schiller's letting us stay at the outpost. He gestures with his thumb toward the man. And Schiller, at your service. The man says.
Oh my God.
I hate him.
Why are you here? You come to stop the Kreen? Is that it?
Well, we've come to stop
Partially.
whatever's making the Kreen crazy. We're actually looking for a friend of ours. We thought he might have come this way.
Who are you looking for? Tebow says, and actually speaking over him, Schiller clearly demonstrating some understanding of the halfling tongue. Who might you be looking for? Where are my manners? Please, come. Join us for a drink. Get out of the sun. Won't you?
I look at everyone else to see their reactions.
Sure.
Why are these halflings in such a poor state?
Precisely my thinking.
Look, they're under my protection, okay? It's my only rule here. No trouble for me, no trouble for them. Or I'll feed you to them.
Okay.
They're refugees. They've come stumbling out of the forest with all sorts of stories about maddened mantis warriors destroying their homes.
At this point, I'm going to activate Detect Lie.
Okay, he's at the moment at least telling the truth. So I just decided, well, I might as well just give them somewhere to put their heads down. There's nowhere else to go, and here at Outpost Zero, we're all about refugees and found families and people who've left other lives behind them, looking for something safer beyond the mountains.
Oh, so they're not forced to wave you down. I heard that they were holding like leaves and they were making you cool down. I'm so glad that that's not true.
It is true, but it's something of a mutual agreement. I let them stay here, and they do a few little things for us, for me and my companions.
You and your companions.
Yes, and this was Outpost 23 of House Revere, but apparently, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, they decided that cost was too much, and they've deserted it in favor of Outpost 10, a bit to the south of here. I came across it a short while ago and have, how should I put it, set up shop. since the unpleasantness in Tyr and all the rest of it.
And who do you belong to? What faction do you belong to?
Who do I belong to? I belong to myself, my friend. I belong to myself. Schiller is my name, if I haven't mentioned it already, and I'm at your service.
What unpleasantries are you speaking of?
All that nonsense with the king and the regicide, and then the riots, and
and the inability to keep slaves. That small detail.
It's
I can tell you like to maintain a certain lifestyle. I do too.
Just because we're living out here at the arse end of nowhere doesn't mean that we have to. He glances down toward the halflings scattered around the ground. Doesn't mean we have to live like them, does it?
Can I grab his shirt?
Okay, yeah. You hone in upon the dulcet sound of his voice and easily grab hold of his.
I just grab him and I lift him slightly off the ground.
So here's what's going to happen. You're going to stop taking advantage of these halflings. You're going to make sure that they're fed and that they're comfortable, and any ailments they have are treated to, or my friend here is going to crush you like a fucking walnut. Is that all right?
While he's busy bleating and sputtering, you can see that a couple of the people on the veranda have been. This has kind of got their attention. A mole among them, and a human. The pair of them, both men, step out into the sunlight. The mole has scars heavy and deep around his wrist and around his neck. Very clearly an ex-slave. The human man is dressed in clothing that was probably once quite expensive, but is not looking so good now. Both of them are staring at you with what can only be an expression of recognition.
Oh my god!
You don't recognize either of them, but it's clear that they know who you are.
My grip just tightens on his shirt while he's muttering and...
I do as he says, the mole says. I've seen them. Yeah. I saw that one. Killed 2 of those. And he points down at McFari. Just by spinning them around by their tails.
I forgot I did that.
Oh my god, that was me.
McFari suddenly looks up at Ra.
What?
You did what now?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. I mean, we've given them a place to stay, you know. Schiller says.
What
more do you want?
I want you to treat them equally.
Yeah, the food stores. Thibaut suggests. Yes, I suppose I could do that.
I suppose you could. Let's get right along with that, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Thibaut?
I put him back down on the ground, but I do it quite forcefully, and I kind of almost
just break
in
his
doing
collarbone.
so push him almost almost pushing him into the ground a little.
Yeah. So he stumbles, manages not to fall, and flushing up his neck and his cheeks, and little beads of sweat breaking out across his forehead. He strides back toward the building where the others are on the veranda, and goes inside, and him the door slamming behind him, and the sound of it sounds like boxes being moved around. A woman's voice, a half-elven woman who's on the veranda, her voice just rises in mocking laughter. Why don't you come and join us for the drink? She says. You can see that she was actually lying down with her head in the lap of the human man who's gotten off the veranda and is staring at you. He nods. Yes, why don't you come and join us for a drink, and we can talk this matter over, put some of this unpleasantness behind us.
As long as my friends are okay with it.
I'm going to follow your lead for this one, Bengal.
Then let's go get some drinks.
As we head over, I bend down to McFari and I just like, it was a gladiator match. They were fighting. I didn't really have much of a choice, and they would try.
It's okay, Ra. It's okay.
I didn't know you were the same. It's not a.
It's okay, Ra.
I wouldn't do
It
that.
wasn't my cousin.
Okay, good.
Morgan Freeman voice. It was totally his cousin.
It was
I
Dave.
hated my cousin.
It was McFarry's cousin. The white porch is screened with sagging gauze, which you push aside as you accept the invitation to get out of the sun. The mole walks with you, sits himself down at a table where he was apparently playing some game with involving pedals with a dwarf. He sits back down. No, you've not been cheating, have you? The dwarf just glares at him, not enjoying the joke, and nods up at you. They're all in high-backed wicker chairs. Kind of, Southeast Asia colonial kind of setup. As the man who's invited you settles himself down, the half-elven woman lies her head back down, resting on his lap, and picks up a small thing of grapes and starts popping them into her mouth, then hands them to him, and he starts popping the grapes off and feeding them to her.
Have the small halflings who were fanning them stopped?
They're looking around a little bit kind of unsure. Thibaut chatters at them and then gestures at Bengal, and they drop their palm fronds and back away.
Okay.
Bengal, he said that this is Bengal. He's a great hero of my people. He's come from Tyr, and if they don't treat us nicely, he's going to murder everybody here single-handedly.
Excellent.
And they kind of stare at you. They've heard your name before, of course. And back away, and you can see out in the main area of the corral that several of the halflings have now kind of getting to their feet as word from those in Karana spreads that Bingle Bangle has come with his posse, and shit's gonna change now.
The boys are back in town.
With Detect Lie already activated, I am also going to activate my Detect Poison. When they hand us food.
Right. You get an immediate rush of noxious vapors off one of the other individuals who's seated at the back of the veranda on a bench. He is a pale, bald man with a grotesque grid of leather thongs woven through his skin. Like he's taken the leather, punctured the skin, threaded it beneath the skin, out the other side, and then in and out and in and out and in and out. The leather thongs are wet with various suppurating pus that is coming out of the wounds, but judging from the scarification along his arms, this has been the way it's been for quite some time. And as he turns his neck to follow your arrival, you see it goes all down his neck and under his shirt and who knows, across his entire body. There's a tall young man standing behind him with his hands on the bald man's shoulders. Every single breath the bald, threaded man breathes reeks of poison. Everything about him reeks of venom. He doesn't pay any attention to you, but the man standing behind him with his hands on his shoulders, a young guy, early 20s maybe, little tousled blonde hair, smiles. Well, I suppose introductions are in order, the half-elf says, chewing on her last grape and rolling herself upright. I am Delia. Her voice is Tyrion. And this, and she runs her hands through the hair of the human man who was busy feeding her grapes. This is Scouros. Matthias, you are sure you know the name? A Templar, From Tyr, you think? You're sure you've heard it before? You've met Chered. She gestures toward the mall. But you'll get less conversation out of him and even less from Drayden. She nods toward the dwarf. The dwarf looks up at you. He says. And of course you, YMCA. You may have heard of the Master Wheelock. Makfari and Matthias, you absolutely know the name Wheelock.
Oh, yeah?
He's the most legendary bard in the world. Like if anyone said name a bard, they'd name Wheelock. You've never seen him. You don't know what he looks like. You know the name by reputation alone.
And he's here?
This, she claims, is him. And his assistant, Toth. Hello, Toth says, the young man with his hands on Wheelock's shoulders.
Hello.
We are here on our 5-yearly visit collecting ingredients.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Ah, so you're Master Wheelock.
Yes, he is, Toth says. Wheelock doesn't register you at all.
I was going to say, well met.
So what did Wheelock look like?
Wheelock is the bald man with the leather thongs threaded through his skin.
Oh, gotcha.
Reeks of poison.
He's kind of his eyes flit around the gauze, sometimes down at the little pebbles of the game that the Mull and the dwarf are playing, sometimes over toward Delia. He stares at her actually for long seconds, and then out into the forest and the mountains and beyond, as if he's off in some other place in his head.
Okay.
So, Delia says, and she's a half-elf woman, red hair, incredibly blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes. While Schiller is busy opening his larders to the little halflings, why don't you tell us why you're here? And while she looks at you for your story, she gets a bunch of tall cups off one of the side tables and starts pouring each with water.
For this part of the conversation, I look more towards Portek or Matthias. Because I don't want to reveal too much.
Portek's not there, so it's just Matthias. Oh, come, Delia says.
Well,
there
then
must be
just
something interesting to your story. You won't have come all the way over the Ring Mountains just to wander in to Outpost Zero with no interesting tales behind you. Come, surely.
Oh, we've come to pay a visit to
Corona,
yeah.
A Tyrion! Oh, from Tyr! Please, you must tell me how goes it in the old city. I got out of there as soon as things went to the jackals.
It's doing rather
How
well.
does it go? How does it go? Don't tell me. Tithian is still king, is he?
No, he disappeared.
No, of course. Of course. Didn't I tell you, Scarus, it would never last?
We don't know what happened to him, actually. He just one day disappeared.
Ridiculous upstart of a man. One day he's just on the Bureau of King's Works, and the next he's the High Templar. Corruption, if you ask me.
I nod at that.
Karana, Delia says, but why? You're taking this little one home? Is this your home, little fellow? She says, smiling down at you, Bingle Bangle.
Call me little fellow again.
Oh, he's threatening me! He's threatening me! This is so exciting. Did you hear that, Scarus? He threatened me. I've never been threatened by a halfling before. Oof. Oh, I've come over all a Twitter.
If I'm sat down on like one of, are we sat on wicker chairs as well?
You guys can, yes. You will almost certainly break the wicker chair if you sit on it.
All right. I like to think I've got my hand on one and I'm standing. And as they say that, I like grip the chair and it just breaks the wicker under my hand. Just like a snap.
So strong. They don't want to talk to you, Delia. No one here wants to talk to you, Cherad the Mole says. It's so boring here, Delia says. I'm so bored. What is there to do?
Why are you here?
Well, I just said things went somewhat amiss in Tyr, and myself and Scarus, we got out of there, and we ran into Cherad on the road. He's an escaped slave, you know.
Don't you know there's no slaves anymore in Tyr?
Yeah, of course. No, of course there aren't. No, really. What really is going on in Tyr?
There are no slaves.
There are no slaves.
That's preposterous, Scarus says. How can the city function without slaves?
I don't know, it does it on a near daily basis. Can't imagine how.
And it's doing rather well.
And what about the what about the Template? Is that still functioning?
Well,
it is.
Sort of.
Without a sorcerer king, of course.
It still exists regardless.
Yeah, yes, and doubtless still fulfills an important function in the city.
Yes.
Right, I see.
Tyr even fought off an army from Uruk.
At this, the dwarf's head comes up.
Rather easily, actually.
Uruk and Tyr went to war?
Yes.
Yeah.
You recognize a thick Urukite accent.
A couple of months ago. A few months ago.
They wanted the iron mine.
I left just in time, then. Unlike my friends here, I did not come to Outpost Zero seeking freedom. I am a druid. I come seeking my guarded lands. I think few of my kind out here.
Nice.
But Kreen fill the forest. It is not safe.
How long have the Kreen been wild like this? They don't normally venture into forests. That's not their preferred habitat, as far as I know.
A few weeks. A month or two.
Does that scale with the
yes,
with the sound tricks? Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well,
when was the last time you saw any Kreen?
The last time I saw Kreen, 3 made it up as far as Outpost Zero. They were insane bodies covered in fungal growths, gasping for breath, maddened. We slew them.
We have a Kreen friend at home. That's why we told him to stay home.
Yeah, he was wise.
He survived this place once before, only just.
Last time you paid a visit to Korana, you mean?
Aye.
Well, I don't know if Sheila will let you stay long, but it is a day downriver from here. But I'm sure you know that.
So Sheila's in charge here then?
The dwarf shrugs. Adelia laughs. We let him think he's in charge. The responsibilities of running an outpost like this are tedious in the extreme, and it's useful to have somebody of a certain disposition to take care of such matters.
Why are you really here? There's surely nothing here for you guys.
You know, I'm actually quite in agreement with you. Scaurus here sold it to me as a little outpost on the edge of the world where we could start again, but he really hasn't delivered the goods. I'm sitting right here, Scaurus says. Yes, of course you are, Scaurus, my dear. Of course you are.
So why do you want to stay here, Scarab?
Well, I can't go back to Tyr, can I? There's nothing for me there.
Why not?
Why not?
Kanak is dead. The Templars have lost their powers. I would just be some quill pusher.
Not true.
We have a friend
Besides-
who is a Templar. She does quite well for herself.
I don't know that I can go back.
Oh, if you change your mind.
I'm still playing, by the way. This whole time, I'm just like,
Yeah.
drum solo.
So, apart from being
Tebow tugs
a
on your
Templar,
arm. Bingle bangle. Is that why you really came? This is in the halfling tongue.
No, there's other things that we have to attend to. Things that are important, but really we shouldn't speak about.
Okay.
It's not that I don't trust you. You know that.
All right. I know you trust me. Maybe I can help.
Well, if you have any idea why Quran is like this, or where the Thakreen are now, anything that could help us?
Karana's, we had to abandon it. Bengal, the Kreen attacked. They're roaming the lower reaches of the forest and getting deeper in every day. I don't know why it's happening.
Why we saw those animals in the mountains earlier as well.
Yes. Did you... He beckons you away from the veranda in case Schiller or others can hear. Did you send you know who this way?
Did you see him?
Yes.
Well, where was he? Was he all right?
It was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Some of the others were talking about a shining man with gossamer wings. I ran into the forest to find him.
But he was gone?
No, I'd forgotten how beautiful he was. He said he was going to something called the Think Maker. He was heading south.
Out of the forest ridge?
No, in the forest. A valley to the south. And you might recall from when your last proper conversation with Korgunard through Hamanu's magic mirror, he did say he'd located a powerful halfling mindbender and was going to find aid from him. It could be what Tebow's referring to.
Does Tebow, does he know anything about this mindbender? Is it common knowledge, or...?
I presume that's you asking him?
Yes, Tebow.
There are stories that he's a halfling. And there's a valley where our people can go to learn the powers of the mind. They call it the Valley of the Think Maker.
And that's where you think he might have gone.
He was headed in that direction.
Well,
There's an old road with stones. The jungle has hidden most of it, but it's there.
how many days would it take?
I would have said go slow, but the weather is so beautiful. The air so fresh.
And that's
I
another
think
thing. The weather here is, unnaturally nice.
It came with you.
Yeah, I have no idea how, though, or why, or where from, so I'm just as confused as you are on that one.
It's you, Bengal. The elements smile upon you for what you've done.
What?
They send good weather with you everywhere now. Not sure if he's joking. There's
But
little
yeah,
kind of
I don't know
twinkle in
enough
his
about
eye.
weather to say whether or not that's true, so I'll just nod my head.
I think 3 days. It is 900 Jalaklos away. That's about 50 miles.
Cool.
Making that distance in 3 days through the forest is unheard of. But if there is indeed an old road, perhaps...
Possibly.
yeah.
Okay. I believe then, yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna turn around and tell everyone else, but I'd like to do it when we're in different company, I think.
Okay. Presumably your companions are just enjoying some nice chilled water and listening to Delia prattle on about how bored she is and what she likes
Well,
to do that's interesting.
I'm playing into her boredom by
Yeah.
trying to entertain her with my music.
Yeah. Oh,
kind
she
of keep
loves
her-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, before long, she's moved away from Scarus and is leaning over the edge of your chair. Every now and then, kind of strokes your scales with her hands and compliments you on the playing and how beautiful it is. And your
He's a good
scales are so
chicken.
soft. Down your sides, along your belly, they're just so soft there.
Who's a good chicken? You're a good chicken.
He's a good chicken. Oh, he wants belly rub.
Little boy.
I'd like to see if I can.
I'm just going to smile sort of benignly at her as she does this.
Yeah.
I'd like
It's a
to
good chicken then.
somehow
Yeah.
gain audience with this bard and introduce myself as a bard and see if he's got any knowledge to share, and maybe trade some poisons or whatever.
His eyes look at you once and then look away. Master Wheelock is not looking for an apprentice at this time, Toth says.
I understand. Thank you.
If you are determined to impress him, the traditional method is to present yourself at the poisonous pit in the Great Ivory Plain, and there show him a poison he has never encountered before. That will almost certainly win his attention.
Interesting. I do have one poison, but maybe he has or hasn't.
There's other ways to get his attention, Delia calls from across the veranda. Isn't that right, Wheelock? And Wheelock's entire face lights up and he smiles.
You know me too well, Delia.
And then his eyes kind of glaze over again. And he stares down at the board game.
Wow, voice of an angel.
I'll just hand him
dear.
Hand him a vial of
I hand him a strepsil.
poison. Yeah. I hand him a vial of poison to see if he'd seen this before.
What are you handing him?
Oath and venom.
Say what?
the poison, the venom from Othan.
Holy shit! From the
Yeah, I got six vials of it.
Okay. Toth takes it from you, uncorks it, and passes it under his master's nose. Now Wheelock stares directly at you.
I just smile.
What is it?
I don't know either.
Where find?
Othan.
Black sand.
And I just open my thing for this. You see another 5 vials of it.
Give 2.
I'll hand him another one.
He closes his hands, threaded around them. Deposits them in a pouch.
You wish, teacher?
I would like to learn from the best, yes.
He seems nice.
Come to poisonous pit.
And then the moment of focus is gone.
It scared
He
me there.
Stares out toward the trees, drooling ever so slightly from one corner of his mouth.
Cool, I passed one test.
Troth looks down at you and. Well done.
Not bad.
Take,
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Schiller emerges from the kitchen, sweating, arms rolled up, sleeves rolled up to his over his forearms. Right, I've opened the stores and left a bunch of food out for the halflings. Oh my goodness! And at the sound of this, they're just like a little cloud of them come charging up into the kitchen. Could you just wait? No, not that. No, please don't. Oh, I was gonna. All of them.
Say goodbye to all of it, sweetheart. Unless you want to say goodbye to you.
He looks over toward Ra. No, I'm happy to be a good host.
Good.
And he stomps
Smile
off back.
widely.
I go over to him as I'm playing the Lakora, and I gave him 2 gold coins.
This should cover your expenses for the food.
Oh my goodness! By the elements, bless you. Thank you very much. I'm glad
It's not a problem. I'll just go back here and play my music.
All right. And staring at the 2 gold coins that have bought him his life, Schiller walks back across the compound and disappears into the hut that he currently calls home.
When Bengal secludes herself from the company and has a talk with Thibaut, Portek moves up to her and to
him.
Yeah. and whispers, so, what can we do to improve the situation of these halflings? They look like they've lost the will to live.
Are you talking to, is this to me?
Yes.
Right.
And the disembodied voice whispers in your ear.
Well, they've been, from what I've been told, they've been disconnected from the heart of the forest.
Is this
And-
is this
Oops,
a
that was
spiritual?
Lee. Sorry.
Is that a spiritual connection, or something we can restore, or how does that work?
Well, I believe
is it
that
like
must
my
just-
connection with the earth, or?
Is it? I don't know. Is it?
The halfling clans have ancestral hunting and living grounds, places where they have grown and lived for generations. Korgunard and the forest around it, they will know as well as anyone would know the streets of a village or city or town they grew up in. Right? Taking them out of this, they don't see a difference between them and the forest, really. They're all part of the same thing. So they've been pulled out of themselves. It's difficult for a non-halfling to comprehend, but it's like they've been split in half. And they won't get better until they go home again.
The only place for these halflings is Korgunard.
So, and since they've been moved out because they can't live there anymore, they've lost their lust for life.
Precisely.
So
they could start again somewhere else, but that would be an endeavor. That is founding an entirely new civilization for them, essentially.
So, have you talked to Thibaut and theirs to actually whether they actually used like a Ranica tree protection?
I did not ask about that, but he did see Korgunard.
Yeah, from his descriptions, there were far too many. Far too many.
So if you create a cordon of continuous Ranica tree sap around the town, wouldn't they then not enter the town? Could you not safely live in the town?
Normally, that would be the case, yes. It could be that the effect of the Sinotrix or whatever weird fungal shit they've been exposed to in the forest, they just don't seem to care.
They'll go through the Ranica clouds or...
Exactly. Don't forget, Ranica doesn't automatically keep Kreen out.
No, I know, but
it's just dissuasive. And with them being somewhat maddened, it's clearly not having the effect it's supposed to.
Okay.
But yeah, as Bengal says, Thibaut did mention that he'd seen Korgunard.
Can I be? Well, no, I can't. I don't speak Halfling. I believe. Do I?
No. Tin, by the way, while this is going on, is there anything that you're busy with?
Yeah. Basically, I would have been waiting for the fighting to start, but after seeing them starting to enjoy hospitality and
they sit down and start having drinks and go bloody.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I should probably call off my other halflings.
Upon seeing that that they did that, and then just started imbuing drinks and having a great time, then I'm just going to start sneaking around and seeing if I can find anything, see if they're up to some shady shit, see if there's anything of interest even in the area.
Yeah. So you count well over 100 halflings, 120, 130 or more. You'd spend a good amount of time searching around the various corrals and huts of Outpost Zero. There doesn't appear to be anything unusual here. The storehouse, which is area number 5 on the map, still has a fair amount of gear here, presumably from the old House of Revere days. Pretty much anything that's on the standard equipment list in our campaign guide can be found there. But it really does look, actually, as if Schiller and his compatriots have tried to set up a little forest outpost for them to live in and have a happy time away from the cities. The sudden arrival of 150 halflings has somewhat ruined that for them.
Perhaps there's a way.
I think you mean enhanced, but okay, that's fine.
Perhaps there's a way we can defend Korgunard's borders with some kind of barrier to keep your people safe, I say to Bengal.
We need to be able to keep them safe before at least I'm willing to move on.
But Korgunard has no walls, correct?
It's all
The tree city.
In the trees.
In the trees.
But if there is a barrier, then we can protect them from invasion.
What kind of barrier are we talking? Magical? Physical?
Physical, made of wood, like this stockade.
And
The Korean will just jump over it.
Yes, but you make it taller. There are ways of making it hard for them to go through.
A part of me, I think that we should at least help them to fortify before we head off. But I also believe that the things that are happening with the Kreen, the things that are going on in this forest, they're all connected to what we've been going after, the Psionatrix, and at the end of the day,
absolutely,
the most that we can do for them is continue on.
It's what we're doing. Exactly. We're already here to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 150 halflings. That's a lot of manpower.
Just say the word, and we can. That is, if they're in any state. I don't know. They seem.
I think the safest place.
Your assessment is that these halflings are in no state to carry out heavy physical labor.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
As far as a barrier for Kreen, you're going to need to create a wall that can surround all of Korana, and it has to be at least 30 to 40 feet high.
Mm.
Because Kreen can otherwise easily jump it. That's notwithstanding their ability to just smash it down in a maddened rage. What you're describing is possible, but it is a huge feat of engineering.
I don't know how big Korana is, so it was just a thought.
Yeah,
it's in one tree.
Yeah, I don't believe I have a spell that could do that.
It's just something that I don't know. I think at this moment the manpower that we would have to, spend on it.
Is there some other way we can deter the Kreen other than, let's say, Ranica smoke or
Ranicate smoke will have some effect. Portek's current assessment is that the Kreen are probably too maddened for it to have its full effect. In a weird, from a rather kind of weird and unpleasant perspective, the halflings are probably safest somewhere like here.
That's what I said, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask the woman with the red hair and the blue eyes. She's in charge, right? Have we established this?
Shiller's supposedly in charge, but Delia appears to be calling the shots.
Right. Okay, she wears the pants. Got it.
We could give her a lot of water. We brought a lot of water with us, so.
I think perhaps with our newly acquired friends, if we ask, or imply that it's going to happen, should I say, that the halflings will stay here until we are able to provide them with the help to rebuild and fortify Korana. And with the help from, these people, Delia.
How big would it need to be, the wall around Korana?
Around Korana? It would need to be, you're looking at about a mile diameter.
Sorry for being very European. How many yards is a mile?
So you're looking at about
1,600 kilometers, 1,600 meters.
About 5,000. What do we got? So 5,000 feet.
So, what's 1,600 meters?
A kilometer and a half across.
Yeah. No, I need. I have the spell, which is 5 yards.
Oh, yards.
Level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to
13 and 13 something. I'll give you an exact figure. 5280 divided by 3 is 1,760 yards across.
How high is the stockade wall?
Here it's only 12 feet high.
So that's not much of a barrier against Kreen either.
Not at all, but they're not coming up this far.
Oh, this is higher than Korana? I thought we were lower down.
What I mean is, they're not coming this far east so far.
Oh, okay.
It's higher up toward the actual mountains. You've quite literally come just over the mountains. Korgunard is a little bit further down the river. I mean, there's a possibility if you leave the halflings here and have them fortify the place, and say, for example, if you go to what's been identified as the Valley of the Thinkmaker, that's to the south, you would pass by Outpost 0 on your way back north again toward Desarachi's. Maybe with help from Korgunard, you could make this place safer. Anyway, you have a number of options open to you.
In the meantime, we can provide them with some Ranica sap in case the Kreen come this way. In addition to the walls, that might help.
I think their best bet is to feed and water these halflings and have them help.
No.
Feed and water the whole place.
Yeah.
These halflings here know how to live here. They can farm the land, gather food.
Oh yeah, for the halflings' labor, they get a fair, stay and a fair meal every day.
And what we're doing anyway is hopefully going to help their homeland anyway.
Well, and part of my hope is that even though it's not their home, it's not Korgunard, at least working with the land might help them a little bit.
Tibo nods at this. It might. It will give us some focus at least.
Something to live for.
Give them some focus. I mean, keep them busy while we go to find your friend.
You really, really want to come with, don't you?
I was with you, and then I was away, and then I was with you again, and then I was away. I'm old enough now. Bagal. I'm old enough to fight at your side.
I'm not disagreeing. Your home is on the line. I think it's right that you should defend it.
Yes. All right, then I will lead the restoration efforts here. I have been a gardener in Tyr, and I know how to work within a compound like this. And then when you come back this way, and when you're back together with your shiny friend, then you'll come back through here and you'll see all that Tibo and the others have done.
We'll miss you, Tibo.
You'll be in the forest, Bengal. And we are always together in the forest.
Where's Tin?
That's a good question. Has he turned himself into a spider again?
I have no idea. I wanted to tell him there's another druid here.
I'll just come walking out of from behind Building 9. If you guys are all actually at Building 6, it looks like, on the map. And just be like, I was just waiting to see what was happening. Did you get information, or are we going to be staying? I have a bedroll.
Well, we may be staying here the night, I'm assuming. There's another druid in there. There's a dwarven druid you may want to go and say hello to.
Interesting. Could be worth a talk.
We're looking at ways to help the halflings here stay while we go and obviously sort the issue. Is there anything in your druidic powers that can help them? Grow food or anything like that?
I mean, I could use spells to increase whatever crops they have, to increase some production, make them grow a little bit faster. If you want to keep them safe, if these walls are secure, they could lock them up. I could turn this place into something where outside the walls it's going to be real nasty. But it really depends what kind of protection you want.
Apparently the Kreen aren't coming this far yet. Yeah, no.
Their walls may be enough. The only things I could do is increase their production. I can't reinforce their walls. There's nothing I can do for that. I can't manipulate stone or otherwise. And I can make a couple trees, but they're not going to last long. Food production's good, or I can turn this place, like I said, into somewhere where a lot of nasty things are going to show up, and maybe the cream won't want to come in.
Thibaut shakes his head. No.
But they're not going to want to stay.
We need to come and go through the gates to harvest from the forest. Yeah. He points toward the little garden that you can see nestled in the corner of some of the walkways.
Food production is huge here, I'd say.
If you can make this ground bountiful, Tim, then you will have blessed us.
Wasn't there something that made Tick calm down?
Beetles. But
can we not get beetles and have them as like hanging lanterns nearby as kind of a protection?
If I recall, they had to be hung on his person, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So unless we want to run up to a bunch of angry Kreen and hang beetles about their person, I don't think that's going to offer a protection. It's a great idea. It's a good thought. I just don't think it's going to provide what you'd like.
To actually keep the Kreen out, it should be 40 feet high, that wall, right?
That's Korgunard, yes.
Yes.
40, right?
Any wall needs to be, you want 40 feet. But again, the Kreen can leap 30.
That could puts the halflings back in danger.
I can do 12 feet a day.
The issue is the psionics. Can we put a dome to stop psionics?
None of us are that powerful, I'm afraid.
What we can do is we can kill that psionitrix. If we do that, this problem is solved. That's what we need to do.
Hopefully we can fix the issues, which is what we're here for. But Tin, if by offering food production, that would help this whole camp out massively.
So then I would walk over to their bountiful thing and I'd just cast some plant growth.
Okay. As you begin to work your command of the elements across the garden, you can see the dwarf sits up, is interested in his little board game Lost. And he comes and stands at the edge of the veranda and watches what you're doing. Nods. Comes down and joins you at the other side of the garden. And begins to similarly summon his druidic powers. The halflings that have finished ransacking the kitchen soon are gathered in a small cloud around the pair of you, watching your enchantments bring fresh plant life budding up from the earth. The conversations on the veranda die away, and even Schiller emerges from his hut, a look of wonderment on his face. Well, Delia says, I think I found my new favorite person. She smiles at Tin. Where
she is human, correct?
The half-elf.
Oh, good. Woo!
Dodged a bullet.
Right?
Our savior.
I'll take a look to her and then to the other druid standing across from me that's doing similar, and say, seems like you already had a savior here.
The dwarf kind of grunts. Yeah, she tried nonsense with me. It didn't go anywhere.
What brought you out of your stupor for this, then?
You did, my friend. There were great circles of us in ancient days, the druids. When the eradication came, we fled. But always we are more powerful when we are together.
But one is better than nothing.
And two is better than one. But I will be the one while you proceed about whatever course the elements have laid ahead of you. And I will weather Delia's affections until then.
So
The burden of usefulness, huh?
My shoulders are broad.
Just shift the weight every now and then. It'll keep you stay on your feet.
Yes.
So Thibaut, are there any trees that you need at the moment in the compound?
If we could get some yeepa trees growing there and there and there.
You got some seeds for me?
I will find some.
Mhm.
And he gives a few kind of high-pitched chirping noises. And 3 of the younger halflings immediately leap up and join him. I'll be back by nightfall, he says.
Mark,
And they hurry out into the forest.
quick question.
Yep.
Does McFurry know what a harem beetle sounds like?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Could I mimic the sound accurately, is what I'm saying?
Pretty close, yes. Yeah.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Celia, if you could
Yes.
help these halflings here and treat them as your own. By the time we come back, we can try to make it worth your while, whatever it is you need. These halflings are important to us.
You can trust me, she says. That's a lie, but she believes it. But she's fairly certain that she's going to do the best that she can.
Was it more of a malicious, you can trust me, or?
No, she really clearly thinks this of herself. But any fool can see that she's probably the least trustworthy person here.
Okay.
Just vain and self-centered.
What was her kind of profession?
No one's asked.
No, okay, fair enough. She didn't say like.
She certainly didn't volunteer. No.
No.
Are we getting any vibes off her? Was she carrying weapons or?
No, she's not carrying any weapons. No gear at all. No, just a nice loose smock to keep herself cool.
Oh, she's
in the afternoon
she's a
heat.
horrible psionicist.
So, Constantine and Drayden the dwarf, you work your magic upon the compound. Thibaut returns with a whole handful of different fruits and seeds to give over into Portek's keeping. And yeah, go ahead, Carl.
Portek takes 2 of the Eber seeds and proceeds to the designated positions that Thibaut has pointed out.
Okay.
Carefully plants a seed in each of those positions, touches the earth, sinks the hand into it as part of the incantation, and wills it to grow a tree.
Not just 1, but 2.
Yes.
Towering over the compound, adding additional shade. And of course, the extremely nutritious bark and leaves and needles can be put to a number of uses. These 2 trees alone, never mind the wondrous bounty that Tin and Drayden have created, have absolutely turned the fortunes of Outpost Zero. There remains talk, however, of the jungle road to the south, to this valley of the Thinkmaker, where, if Thibaut is correct, Korgunard has gone. Or the road to the north, and ultimately Dasarachi's. Which of these do you choose?
I would say we're Korgunard, right? We're going after Korgunard?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did seem to call for assistance quite eloquently.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard from him since.
No. And I would say after, we discover him or whatever has happened, I believe we said it was the hinterlands next.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
we run for our lives most likely because
Yep.
This many Kreen around.
Oh,
We've seen
yeah.
what Tic-Tic's like in a rage.
Very well then. The road to the Valley of the Thinkmaker.
Mark, when they start talking about Korgunard, I'm going to just go into my pack and take out my map, a small set of wind chimes, and I'm going to sit down and concentrate and try to use the chimes of finding to find Korgunard.
Oh, nice. Okay. There it is. Yes. Okay. So you spread the map of the tablelands that you've been building up and dangle the wind chimes over the map, waiting for them to chime, waiting for them to sound.
It turns out the chimes
There
will
was
sound
only-
even if he's dead.
The chimes dangle over the map, eventually circling over. And where are we here? I'll pull back the map itself.
Appreciate.
Here. Yes.
Is that where the valley is?
That boulder field area in between the two outcrops of that mountain.
That must be the Valley of the Thinkmaker.
Indeed.
So I will let you
The
all know what
chimes-
I did,
yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
literally you just watched me just dangle some chimes. And so once it starts to sound off, all I'll say to the rest is, if anyone wanted to fight Korgunard, that's where we'll find them. Were the chimes strong, or were they slowly, like very like kind of melancholy?
They are slow and they are sad. And with that ringing noise, we're going to take a break. Fuck off. Welcome back. We are back from a wee break and prepared to press onward. So as I said, our two druids have restored most of the gardens to bountiful growth. Portek has demonstrated his command of the elements of the earth by causing a pair of yipa trees to grow, shading Outpost Zero in their shade. For yourselves, you have decided that your path lies to the south, along the lost jungle road that Tebow mentioned, toward the Valley of the Thinkmaker. Macfari will be coming along shortly. He has one or two vital ingredients in the forest to locate, and he will be back in the game as soon as Arnout's available to play again. It was either that or Macfari is stricken by a sudden bout of jungle dysentery and goes to the privy and doesn't come out again until Arnout's free. Given that Arnout's not here now, I think we'll go with that.
You can't do that one. You've used
anyway,
that for Ra.
Have I? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he caught it from Ra.
Yeah, I had one
was
time I
contagious, you
missed
see.
session and I came back to, Ra was just spent the whole episode shitting and I was like, oh great, that's great.
Yeah,
Love
thanks.
that for me.
Thanks, guys. Okay, good. Right. Schiller is pretends to be sorry to see you go, but it's clear from the look of relief on his face that he's not going to get crushed like a walnut, at least not now, and so he bids you farewell. The last thing that you see as you head back into the jungle is Tebow's small form standing in the open gates, watching you depart. I say small form, that's only because he's a halfling. He doesn't look anything like the halfling child whom you've come to know
Grown up.
for so long.
He's a big boy now.
He is a young man now.
He's out of Pampers.
And he raises a hand, bids you farewell, and then turns, rubs his hands together, and strides back into Outpost Zero and starts giving orders.
Good.
My little boy.
As for your scouts, Drico and Lobo are leading the group ahead, deeper and deeper into the forest. Initially, at least, the going is rough. Stumbling between the trees, trying to find some route forward. Slow, tortuous, exhausting. Tin's magic still surrounds you, even though you maybe don't even know that it's him. And it is when you are some distance away from the compound that Tin finally judges it safe to share what he learned from his divination with the chimes of finding.
Yeah, I thought what I put in chat was great for everybody. You know, they ate him. He's poo.
Share it with the class, please.
I said, by the way, Korgunard is fucking dead. They ate him. He is poo.
Oh dear.
So to the group, did you see where the chimes settled over my map of the tablelands?
Roughly.
That must be where the thinker is.
I did not.
I will look at Ra, and this is my expression.
I don't see it.
No, you don't.
You do.
I describe it in every detail.
And that is where Korgunard lays, or has been laid to rest, as it were.
Dead?
That is where his body is. He is no longer able to be counted on as an ally.
Kept thinking he was this big, powerful thing.
When was the last time we spoke to him? How many days was that ago?
The last time you actually spoke. As
Or
or
what
do you mean the psychic message?
Yes.
It's a couple of months,
Right.
wasn't it?
I will give you an exact.
We've been travelling all the way back for like a couple of months.
Yeah, just pulling up the calendar now. Okay, where are we? We are.
Been a few
Right.
years.
You reached Akarakle on the 9th. You fled Lake Island on the 3rd. So we've got 2 weeks to get back home.
Oh, was it only 2 weeks?
Yeah, it wasn't a long period of
I'm
time,
talking
was
it?
about
Months for some reason.
back in. Yeah, because you've got the ship and then the caravan.
Caravan, yeah.
Yeah. The last you heard was his psychic message 3 weeks ago. And the last time you actually spoke to him was 3 weeks before that. So your conversation with him in the magic mirror was a month and a half ago.
Month and a half, okay.
And the psychic yell that came 3 weeks ago. That kind of matches what, yeah. Thibaut did say it was a few weeks back that he saw him.
3 weeks ago, right? That was the last
The
sign
last
of life. Yeah.
Yes, 3 weeks. Yes.
Are we certain he's dead then?
Yes,
How did he communicate with us? Do we have a way of communicating with him like that?
Can you speak to the dead? Because any way that he spoke with us before will not work.
I know Portek can speak with the dead, but like he contacted us, do we have a way? I mean, I look to you two, who use the magics.
I can help with the power, with the land, I can help impact the land and life. I can't affect the mind that easily, nor that powerfully.
Wish I understood magic a lot more, but well, we have nothing but to continue. But if something, we thought Korgunard was powerful, but if something's killed him, then we need to be wary.
Well, the question is also, is it still there? Whatever he ran into.
I think we, to be safe, need to assume yes.
That's kind of worrying. Of course, whatever killed him will easily deal with us then.
Agreed. Well,
yeah, but if we could get to him, I could potentially restore him to us.
How would you do? How would you do that?
I could resurrect him. He hasn't been dead quite so long, has he?
3 weeks.
I didn't know you could resurrect.
I can bring people back within. Let's see. Searching my mind, i.e., I did not read the spell entirely, so I need to know.
If it's a raised dead,
raised dead is 1 day per your level.
Oh yeah,
resurrection is 10 years per your level.
Resurrection, 10 years. So,
well within your ability.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't, as long as we don't leave the body there for about another 120, 140 years, then I can bring him back.
There are 2 things that you need. You need to be able to have some remains, and his spirit still needs to be in the grey. And then you can quite literally reach into the grey and pull his spirit out of it and put it back in his body.
There's chances that it may not work, but there's a chance that it might. But I leave it to all of you if it's worth the chance.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely worth the chance. We're talking about an Avengel here.
Well, if the chance is just if it works or it doesn't, then, I mean, why not? It's not gonna...
We should absolutely try.
Yeah, there's no repercussions for doing it, right?
I mean, well, the repercussions are... we could run into something quite powerful, quite old, quite dangerous. Even if I do bring them back, there is a chance, I bet, usually a small one, that they could die. And out of character, Mark, do I have to make a saving throw as well?
So the act of casting the spell is deeply traumatic physically because you're literally reaching into the grey. It will age you, and that shock to your system can kill you. You make a system shock survival.
So now I will continue. It can. They may not survive it, and there's a small probability that I may not survive it. But
how small?
If you, well, not as small as I'd like. But if you have to weigh the power of him against the power of me, I don't think it's a contest.
Doesn't it be a no? Because if there's a chance it won't work and it could kill you both, then no, it's not worth it.
Agreed.
At least to be 100% sure.
It depends on the chances, though.
Yeah, and see, this is where it confuses me because we were willing to sacrifice me potentially for the half giant that wanted us dead, but we're not willing for.
We didn't know.
No.
We didn't know that it was going to cost you your life potentially.
Yeah.
Well, it may not cost me my life.
We didn't sacrifice you. What are you
No.
talking about?
You're the only one that knows your powers, Tin. We don't. If you even know yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Portek had understanding of my abilities because quite often he brings them up.
I have a vague understanding of your abilities, but not a precise one.
You've kept the claws quite close to your chest, so.
And
rightly so. It's fine.
Many of the magics that you master are beyond my reach. So, what kind of knowledge do I have? I know of them. I don't know how they work.
For now. They're beyond your reach.
You just asked us if it was worth it without telling us. I had to ask you if it was going to have any repercussions. We can't. You have to tell us these things.
Aye. Agreed.
If you're planning on doing it, we have to be prepared. We're not willing to do it. And I think if we'd have known, then we wouldn't have done it for them either.
It would have been out of the question, straight up.
It's the same
And
when
that is-
Portek cast that haste spell on us. It would something that we'd rather know.
No, and that's why, and this is my issue, because when we were in the cells and my ability to bring back their shaman was brought up, that's when when it was brought up a second time, that's when I believed that there was an understanding of my abilities, which I would rely on Portek more on the understanding of my abilities, as I'm relatively new and he is quite learned. Sadly, I am not as learned as Portek. I just know what I know.
I am a priest of the element of earth. I am knowledgeable on certain aspects, but I am not as knowledgeable as you claim me to be. I don't know the specific in and outs of your magics. You have clearly different aspects of magics than I have. So,
well, that's because mine change depending on where we're sitting.
Well, that's for one, is a thing that it goes beyond my comprehension, because I do not possess that ability.
But it's
So
good
we
to
will
know
not-
regardless. And I just want to add, Tin, that if you do choose to try to resurrect, it has to be your choice.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Not,
it has
not
to be your
ours.
choice.
If I have to look at the pros and the cons, weigh the positives and the negatives, Korgunard has a better chance of doing a lot of things. I personally feel it's worth the risk because of the power that Korgunard has that even I in 100 years I can't have.
It is not the power we're talking about here. What we're looking at is the promise of salvation of this.
But I just want you to know that if you do choose to, you have to own that decision. I will not make it for you.
No, and I wouldn't make it without your input.
I wouldn't want to
We
reply
can't-
and give you
We can't
my
input on that.
It's
But
your
if I'm
life.
if I am making the suggestion, then I've made my peace with it. I'm asking for your opinion.
I couldn't have that on my hands.
Me either.
No, either.
You know that the magics that we master are powerful forces, and with many of them there's a risk of injury or worse. You know that.
Oh yes, I learned that just the other day. That don't focus too hard on a spell, or you'll bring something a little bit stronger than you thought into existence. I do apologize again for the fire elemental.
It happens, but the thing is, that comes with the territory of wielding these magics. So you either take responsibility for it, in my opinion, and the chances that something happens to you, but you don't burden the people around you with those.
I put my hands on Tin's shoulder and kind of squat down a little bit. When I charge into battle, I don't ask Bengal if I should, because if something were to happen to me, Bengal would carry that on them because they told me to. No one is going to want you to put yourself in danger, but we do it for the people around us. You can't ask us for that, because we won't answer.
I couldn't put it more appropriately than Rajas did.
Agreed. We all have our own talents and our own responsibilities. Yours is
But I
to
wouldn't be
live
asking you
life.
if I should. I wouldn't be asking you to allow me to do it. I would be asking on your input, not on the will I do it or not. I've already made the decision. I'm asking if you believe that it's a good use. Because if you say, holy crap, no, this is a terrible idea, and I go, I did not see it that way, it could change my
think-
vision.
We trust
As your
your
friends and
I trust
companions,
we
though,
trust
whatever
your-
decision that you are making that is putting your life on the line, we are going to say no. So it doesn't really matter what
Wow,
our
wow.
input is.
Tin, if I was going to charge in a room full of people and I was to ask you if I should, I'm pretty sure you'd say no. But me charging in there could be the difference of life and death for many. I can't put that on you, Tin. We can't take that from you either.
As
You
your
would-
friends, we trust your decision. No choice.
You need to realize that the risk that you're taking is not something we can assess properly. We don't know what the chance is that this happens.
I appreciate it, but I will add one last thing to it is Ra was very right. If she ran in, I would not take responsibility, but I'm pretty sure she would know she's not running in alone. I think I'd be asking you more to see if I'm doing it alone.
We're not going to die.
You understand that none of us can help you with the magic, though, so you would be doing it alone.
No. It means more that I have someone behind me.
Why would you assume we wouldn't be behind you? We've always been behind you. We're always behind each other.
Agreed.
Like we said, we trust your choice. But if you ask us, we're gonna say no. And I think if I was to ask about any battle I go in, my friends, you all would say no too.
Exactly.
But
I'd like to say one more
anyways.
thing as well, Tin. If I was to die, I wouldn't want you to risk your life to save me. But as a friend, I know you probably would. And the same for anyone here. But my answer would always be no, if it risks your own life.
I could say absolutely. If you were to die, I would not resurrect you. I'd probably reincarnate you just to see what would happen.
That's not the answer I was expecting.
and so he'll let a small smirk, but you can see he is tearing up, and he's going to put a hood over his head as he starts to walk away and just say, sometimes you just need to hear the words. And he'll start walking in the direction that we've already decided.
I'm gonna give Matthias a hug. I'd resurrect you. It's okay.
I know. He was just teasing,
I'd bring
right?
you back.
Yeah,
And
he was, wasn't he?
From ahead, you'll hear me say, "Yes, I was teasing."
He just needed to hear the words. And Matthias, I would resurrect you.
Thank you.
You follow Tin's form into the forest. Away from the bright lights of the clearing to the mottled shadows, with the halflings scouting ahead, to the side, and behind. Away from the mountains, now deep within the bosom of the forest ridge, it's almost overwhelming. Find yourselves almost overcome by the energetic display of life beneath the canopy of the trees. All around you, the unrelenting cycle of rebirth and decay sweats with a dank steaminess held at bay only by Constantine's constant emanations of fine weather. Sounds surround you as the whole jungle seems to churn with excess. Towering conifers sway on their segmented trunks. Moist moss trails like tapestries from every surface. Bingle Bangle, it is home. You didn't realize how much you missed it since you've been away, but now that you are properly back in its embrace, how much longer must you remain away from this place, healing the ills of the world? On you hike. And by late afternoon, there comes a moment when suddenly the air is filled with the hoot and whistle of halfling excitement. Amidst a sudden flurry of their little forms, all six come rushing back and cluster around your group. And Draco points down the trail. Slothspur! There's Slothspur! The Athasian jungle sloth is a monstrous, dangerous predator. Bingle Bangle, you know even before Draco says it what he's proposing. A chance for one of you to make a story. A gift to you. He's suggesting single combat with a sloth in order to have a story that enters halfling oral legend. And then he kind of looks at his feet. Or me and the others could take it. We could do it.
Why don't we take it together?
Lobo nudges him. Lobo's reminding me that we offer the honor to you or your companions. We will sing a great story of your death or your victory.
We're gonna take it together, and they'll sing of all of us.
It's just a sloth, guys.
Draco looks actually offended, and then recovers himself. Master Bengal, you have been away from the forest for too long. It would be wrong of me to steal the story from another. And he actually takes a step back. You can, of course, give him the other option, which is him and the halflings go and deal with this
Yeah,
particular
I kind of want to
sloth.
fight the sloth, though. I don't know why.
Hey, Bengal, what's
Is it
the
like?
Why would we
Is
wanna
it a
fight
2 or 3 toed sloth?
I will lean down and say, Bengal, you are aware of how dangerous they are.
Yeah,
You wanna-
that's the
you-
point. They're gonna sing about us, Tin. This is a
I thought it was
this is
just
a
you.
mighty gift.
I thought this was just you that was going to fight it.
Oh, are you gonna sit this one out, you two chicken?
And at
Um,
being called that, he will shift into a sloth. The hair starting to creep up as he expands in size.
Okay, well, I will give you the picture of the sloth now then, seeing as one is appearing in front of you. A Thasian sloth.
I'm still saying it's just a sloth, guys.
Yeah, this thing is hideous.
Okay, I saw something very different, and I I don't know what that says about me, but I think this might be a bit.
It's nearly as tall as a half giant. It's a good 75 to 80% mouth with huge, like overgrown, almost like hamster teeth on the front, and big ass claws and wild staring eyes. Still kind of looks like tin, weirdly enough, but there you go.
That's not what I imagined.
What the fuck is that? A vagina mouth? Did you write? Filth. Just
Oh, wow.
Gross.
That is Happy Mother's Day.
Okay.
So who's droning me?
The halfling tradition works like this: for you to create a story that is worthy of entering halfling myth, you must face the sloth alone. As you cautiously advance down the trail, however, Draco revises his assessment. Oh no! Look, and he points toward the jungle trail is starting to widen actually, and here and there you can see just protruding from beneath the dirt, smooth stones, perhaps the beginning of the road that Tebow was talking about. But Draco points, and there on the side of the little kind of nascent road is a huge steaming sloth turd. But he points a little bit further down the road. There's 2 of them. Look. And there's indeed a little bit further down another heap that, judging from its contents, has come from a different sloth bumhole. He looks around. I don't see either.
Neither do I. Can I have a look around to see perhaps
I do an
There's any-
observation.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I want to listen out while they observe.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
actually have observations, so someone else is going to have to do it.
Portek, you have it?
Yes.
No need to roll. You can actually see it. The nearest one is in a tree about 10 to 15 yards down the beginnings of the road and kind of staring down over the path. It's great.
So it hasn't seen us yet.
Yeah, it's looking at you.
Okay.
Gonna-
Well, there's one over there looking at us.
the other one you can't see.
The other one I don't see.
Well, it's not moving to attack us yet.
Are they aggressive? They look it.
And
When
are
provoked,
they
they-
aggressive? Tin's just going.
Yeah. You realize it's probably actually looking at Tin.
Yeah.
trying to figure out why there's a sloth just sitting in amongst your group.
Oh, it's an attractive-looking sloth over
I'm
there.
gonna
probably-
pat Tin on the head.
To be fair, that's probably weirding it out more
It
than
kind
we're
of
weirding it out.
Slowly begins to unlimber itself from the tree and climb backwards down the branches until it lands on the jungle path. Turns its head this way. Not trying to get a good look at you. Looks you directly in the eyes, Tin.
What I would understand it with my my druidic powers for understanding.
Who the fuck are you? What are you doing in my bit of jungle? Who are you?
I wish McFarry was here. We could play some Let's Get It On music.
He would say, I'm Tin. I'm just seeing them through the jungle so we can get back to my home.
The thing's back bristles at this wildly incomprehensible collection of concepts. It lowers its head. That is sloth for come and get some.
You know, Mark. Yeah, we're gonna make little clips of what you just did. Yeah, we're gonna play them
You've been threatening that for fucking 3 years. I haven't seen a single one yet.
I have to beat this sloth in hand-to-hand combat, so out come the singing sticks.
And do we know that you want to fight this thing solo?
You haven't told us.
Well, yes, I'll have to relay that.
Because that's the thing. I'm because I was gonna say, if you haven't said anything, I'm optimizing my armor and I've got my Latulis.
Yeah, you're aware of Ra next to you, kind of gearing up to start hacking.
Ra,
does Bengal,
I'm gonna need you to sit this one out. That goes for all of you.
Does Bengal relay the idea that he wants to fight it alone?
I just did.
Then I will scream back at it. You will face a real challenge. Him and points to the as you charge forward, you can give me an initiative roll, please, for your abrupt sloth encounter.
May I kind of ready an attack just in case my boy goes down?
Absolutely. Immediately, as Bingle Bangle runs forward, the halflings are like, Wah! Start hooting and cheering. What you get, Lucan?
8.
8. Right, you beat the sloth by a single point. As you come charging toward it, its jaws open wide. But just before it lands its attack, you may make yours. The sloth is armor class 15, and you get a crazy amount of attacks.
How many attacks do I get this round? 4?
3 with the main hand, 1 with the offhand.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Basically playing the drums, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thwack, thwack, thwack. Well, that second one's a natural 20. That's max damage.
What is max damage on this?
Max damage for you with your singing sticks is going to be against size large.
Yeah.
I make it 4. I make it 12.
Okay, so
roll
that's
the other
12.
3. Yeah. 12, 22, 32,
37,
39.
39.
Whoa. Okay, you leap forward, singing sticks flashing out, crack the sloth clear across the snout, and then hammer it about the face. The thing staggers backwards.
Can I after I land, optimize my armor? Is that?
I thought you'd already done that.
Well, I assume I already had, unless
Yep.
I am going into a fight, so.
Yes, it rears itself up above you. It's easily twice your height, and then descends upon you in a flurry of slothy anger. Your optimized armor gives you an armor class of 20.
No, it's 31.
31.
No, that's
31.
That's only when you're full defense.
Oh.
If you're not full defensing because you're attacking.
Full attack.
Yeah, so it needs 11s or higher to hit you. 12, 10, and a 4. So a single claw swipes you across the side of the face. You take 5 points of damage, and a little trickle of blood runs from your small hobbity nose. What did I say? 5?
Is that it?
That exactly. Is that it? Go again.
Okay.
This time it's 4 and 1 with your attack.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All hits.
Yes.
And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20. I don't know how many. That's a lot of numbers.
You quite simply leap
45.
up onto the front of the sloth's snout and rain blow after blow after blow down atop the top of its head. The poor thing's skull
I'm playing drums.
cracks under the impact, and it is only when the last of your singing sticks becomes mired in the soup of its brain that you realize the thing is dead.
Okay.
Collapses underneath you. From the trees, there comes a high-pitched and another. The second one bounds forward. The halfling go completely wild. This is the best day of their lives. Do you wish to face the second sloth, or do you wish to give that gift to one of your companions?
Ra,
Oh,
do you want to beat up a sloth with me?
is there even a challenge?
I just, obviously we're min and max, so she gets it.
Oh my gosh.
Can I, at this point, make some popcorn and hand it out?
You won't have time to probably make it,
Oh,
actually.
But definitely go get a good seat because this will be a nice show.
Okay, before Ara, can I just get an initiative check off you?
Oh yeah, sorry. My bad. My bad. 9.
Okay, you beat the sloth by 1 point again. I got a 10. Yeah.
And it's
gotta go
large,
to the second
right?
round.
And it is large, so those all hit from the looks of it.
Alright,
go.
that
Oh, no, okay.
is 27, 28, 21, 27. As
my
it's
God.
jumping in the air at me, I just twirl my Latulis round like twice. and just-
103.
Shing,
103
shing.
damage.
There is a rain of blood and sloth parts spatter the ground around you. And that is all for the
Min-max
four
pose.
sloths.
I really wish Latulis's had like a sheath so I could do the anime like
The shink. Yeah.
I'll shift
min-
back to Tin because
min-max
I'm
pose.
like, there's no reason.
There's a moment of awed silence from the halflings. And then they just run forward and throw themselves, well, some of them kind of embracing a Bengal, others hugging Ra's knees, whooping and cheering. And then Draco snaps his fingers and he looks around, bends down quickly and grabs 2 small stones from the forest floor, still wet with the sloth's blood. He hands one to you, Bengal.
I take it.
His blows were mighty, faster than the sloth he was. He came at it unafraid. Blow upon blow at its snout. It did not slow. And showing his bravery, Bengal let the sloth strike him across his face until his blood flowed. Then he was above its skull and opened its mind to the elements. It fell. This is his story. Then he hands you the stone. Draco takes the other blood-soaked stone and offers it to you, Ra. She was like the lightning that comes atop the peaks. You do not see it coming, but it strikes with mighty devastation. Her blades flashed like moonlight in the forest. The sloth was airborne, seeking to drive her to the dirt, but her blade was faster. And like rains from the heavens, its entrails bedecked her in the sloth's gore. This is her story. And Draco gives you the small blood-stained stone.
I take my little stone. It's like a pebble, I assume, in my hands.
It's just
If it's small for a halfling, it's gonna.
Yeah.
be small for
Wait,
me.
where is it? I had it here a minute ago.
Thank you.
That night, you feast on sloth. The halflings prepare it well. The meal is sumptuous. It's rich, gamey, with a slightly sweet aftertaste. It goes extremely well with jalabi fruit. Tin, I'm assuming, by the way, you are keeping your fine weather spell re-upped as needed?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I might as well make everybody comfortable.
The next day, Thibaut's forest road appears properly. The intermittent smooth stones that you see poking up through the mulch of the forest earth become more prevalent. It's ancient, and you guess it must be enough for mechalot wagons to drive two abreast in either direction. Is that a sloth?
I was just wondering, where the hell did that come from?
I love it.
Wait, what happened? What did I miss?
On the stream.
On Twitch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a delay on our end as well, so it's like people watching are probably going to be like, why did it take them so long to notice?
That's funny. Yeah, the jungle road that Thibaut's spoken of becomes more prevalent, more obvious. And although the outer edges of it have been overgrown, as I say, you think this must have been a truly wide thoroughfare, winding along what would have been the western face of the Ringing Mountains. Who was building here? And why? These answers will perhaps never be known. Tim, did you say you were scouting ahead, by the way?
Yeah, I'm scouting ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to want an observation check from you.
One day it'll load. There you go.
One day. Okay, right. So not a great observation check, actually. And so it is. I'm just going to make a surprise roll here.
Yep.
Not surprised. So it is that you're actually almost upon them before you realize it. Clacking mandibles and the sound of chitin striking against chitin and the low gurgling rasp of infected lungs. You round the corner of the winding jungle road to see half a dozen thrikreen clustered around the corpse of what appears to be a jungle kidde. All 6 of them are eating it, bowed over, heads down, bug butts sticking up in the air, limbs hunched as their jaws.
I am going to try to sneak the freak away.
Maybe move silently roll, please. This is one you don't want to fuck up.
No, I'm trying to blend into the thing too. Let me find it. This sheet confounds.
Oh, sorry, hide in shadows, and if it's visible as opposed to noise that you're trying to do, or both.
I'm doing both.
Shit. Okay.
I do not move silently. Apparently, I make so much fucking noise.
You stop. You turn. You back away into the undergrowth, and then it is that there is a loud crack as you accidentally step on a fucking branch like some kind of goddamn amateur, and then all 6 of them are heads up, mandibles wide, and they're rushing you.
I am now calling out for the others and running like hell.
Okay, back towards your friends.
Yes, I need backup.
Okay, armor class 17 here. We're looking at 10s or higher to hit. You turn and run. You know exactly how fast these things are. You've seen Tick Tick do it many times. There's no way you can outrun them.
No,
and
I'm
the
dead.
first one is upon you in seconds. Oh, goodness gracious. Its claws and jaws snap around you. Only one claw lands home. That's only going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage from a glancing blow there. Puts you on 69. Roll for bite. The bite just closes just shy of your head. You stumble under the impact, just in time to see another one sail over your head and land in front of you. Threat display, and then it is upon you.
There are 6 of these, right?
There are 6 of them. This one lands 3 claws against you in a flurry of strikes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus 6, 17 damage from that one. That puts you on 52. Its jaws snap towards your face. Again, you pull your head back just in time. The third one comes skirting around the outside and just leaps through the air straight towards you. Miss, and 3 more hits as it's quite simply slashes as it flies by with its claws.
That's
2,
3 of them.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 6 is 15 damage from that one. That puts you on 37 and a bite from that one. That's also a miss. Every single bite is missed. Okay, although there are 6, only 3 of them can get within melee range of you because they're so damn big. These 3, however, are currently surrounding you, preventing your flight. Your panicked cries, however, have reached your companions a little bit further down the trail. If anybody wishes to come to Tin's aid, now would be the time to roll your initiative dice. Otherwise, I'm going to eviscerate him.
I think you might eviscerate me anyway. So it looks like...
No, okay, that's fine. I might do that.
I imagine I can hear this going on, so I can.
Yeah, and you can hear from the sounds of it that it's cream. Perhaps doesn't need pointing out, Tin. They are covered in mottled fungus. One of them appears to have had half of its eye eaten away by some kind of parasitic growth. They look in a really bad way. But okay, initiative rolls then. Did I get anything from Bengal?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, 3. Portek.
1.
1.
I start casting on 1.
Matthias.
6.
A 6. Ra.
10.
Okay. And Tin.
1.
1. Okay, Portek, you start casting. When does it go off?
Give you a sec. I'll let you know.
Yeah, Tin.
Am I able to optimize my armor and go full defense?
Oh no!
Absolutely.
Oh,
You tighten a few straps and start whirling the wall of wood.
Yep.
Your armor class leaps to what do you make it? I make it at least 17, 18, 19, 20, and then plus another 21, 20.
So I would get wall of wood, I would get the defense bonus, and then I would get the 2 for my armor optimization.
oh no!
Okay, so 17, 18, 19, 20.
It used to be like 20.
28,
Yeah, so I thought it was like 27,
31.
28 or something.
It's 31 now with your
31? I'll take it.
Just quickly, because I
Really
completely
nice.
forgot earlier, and I do apologise, Lowry. Lowry earlier redeemed the D20. Which I'll roll
Oh, I still have
now.
mine.
Yes, please do.
And that
Thank you,
goes
Larry.
to Tin. So Tin's got one already. So that goes to Bengal. Bengal's got one
A
already.
D20. I've already got one, yeah.
So that goes to Portek.
Yay!
Yay!
So you have
Thanks. Yeah, now I have
one.
one.
Oh, you don't have one.
No.
Right, and we've got just now Lowry and Diamond Anvil have redeemed 2 D6s, which don't carry over. Remember,
Yeah.
that
yeah.
goes
Oh, yeah.
to Tin, and that goes to Matthias. So thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated.
Cool. Portek, do you have a casting time for me yet?
Cast time 1.
Oh, nice. Okay. Tin, what are you doing while Portek casts?
I remember I
defense.
went
Just-
full defense. Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm trying to defend off pretty much everything.
Nice. Portek, your spell goes off
Stone skin.
on yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
Okay, your
at
skin
level
becomes
12.
Flaky and so D4 plus 6.
While you're doing that, June Soldier just tipped $5. Thank you very much, June, and that's a D20 inspiration, which goes to Matthias. So thank you very much.
Okay. I already have one as well, by the way, Lisa. Don't bother bringing
Okay.
it to me. I've been saving it since last session. Okay, Portek, you cover yourself in stony skin. Are you then going to advance down the path with your move
Yeah,
or not?
Yeah, I'm moving onward down
Okay,
towards.
you
towards
hurry down the path to see Tin surrounded by a trio of Kreen. Another 3 are kind of dancing around the edges, trying to look for openings, but when they see you arrive, they come rushing toward you. Bingle Bangle.
Yes. So obviously I'm running towards them, and the closest one is gonna get it first.
Okay, the closest ones are the 3 that have come charging toward Portek. So you rush into his side and start cracking bugs. They are armor class 15.
Yep.
June says Korgunard loves you. He's dead.
Not anymore, he doesn't.
So do they all hit?
One missed.
I didn't see those, sorry. AC 15.
Yeah.
That 20 is that red one is a miss.
That's a nat, yeah. Okay, and...
To give me 3 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, 18, 26. Whoa, okay, right. You hurtle into the first of the cream, crack one of his legs out from underneath him, snap a huge hole in the front of his carapace, and with the offhand singing stick, down atop the top of its skull, crunch, killing it in 3 solid blows.
Well, that was easy.
Standard 3 Kreen are nowhere near as powerful as Tick-Tick, who is a 12th level gladiator.
I was going to say, this is...
These are not 12th level gladiators. They're standard Kreen, which is 6 plus 3 hit dice. They're only 6 level monsters. You should really feel sorry for them for what you're actually doing, actually. Probably a bit guilty too. Matthias, they're sick. They can't help it.
I don't.
I will charge in as well. Obviously, I can move a lot faster than the others. Can I run to help Tin?
Yeah, you skirt past the I say three of them, the 2 of them that are currently with Portek and Bingle Bangle, and rush to Tin's aid a few yards further down the forest road.
And I will try to... Can I trip them?
You can try.
What am I looking at for that?
CMB for these creatures is going to be CMD is going to be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. Is that good or bad?
It's pretty low.
Okay. And I'll use my D6 for the 19.
Yep.
For 23.
Nice. Okay, good. Right. So you whip, and all 3 of them are yanked from their feet, dragged away from Tin. You have a bit of breathing room here, Tin. You can use it to get away if you want to take your move action.
Can I hide?
No, I have nowhere to hide, and if I move, then I'm going to lose my defensive ability right now. It's the safest thing to do.
So you stay put. And did you say you were going to try
if
and
I
hide?
can hide, yeah.
Yeah, if you roll to the side and try and duck behind some of the jungle plants. That
shade away.
Yes, nice. And you are gone. Okay, the 3 Kreen around Tin use their actions to get to their feet, and the 2 on Portek. 1 unleashes all of its attacks against Portek, which does nothing more than get rid of 5 of his stone skins. And the stone skin actually endures, which is quite nice. And the other one turns and demonstrates its irritation with the Bengal. Miss. And the bite. Miss. There's not a chance that this thing is going to hit you, Bingle Bangle. You roll under its claws, roll between its legs, bend backwards at the waist when it tries to bite you. Not a chance at all. And then finally, at the end of the round, Ra.
Is there anyone that seems to be the most in danger at this moment out of my companions?
Probably Tin, because he has the most on him, but you know that Portek Stoneskin won't last forever, so take your pick.
It's tough because I also know Lee kind of pulled them, I'm guessing, towards him as well, right?
I'm with Portek, so
okay.
Go to Tin.
Yeah, I'll go to Tin. And I'm gonna try and just hit them off. Try and with my hits knock them off of him.
They've pulled themselves to their feet. They've not been able to launch attacks again. You hone in upon the sound of their clacking mandibles and the.
And being Kreen, they're large, I believe.
They are indeed large, yeah.
So just in case they hit, that is 26, 26, 24, 24.
100 damage.
All 4 strike home, and those are damages, are they?
Yeah, that's the damage.
Okay, this is on Tin.
Not attacking Tin, but
No. The ones on Tin. I mean, okay. The first two. The
Fuck
first
it,
blow,
just attack them.
The first blow almost kills the first of the Kreen outright, and you fell it with the second. Your third blow, likewise. What's that? 24. The remaining 2 blows take down another of the Kreen. You're quite literally smashing them to pieces with that heft behind your Latulis. There is now only one left alive on Constantine. Tin, Matthias, you quite simply see Ra charge in and crash, crash, crash. 2 blows per Kreen, down they go.
Like
If
a
I may-
well-oiled team.
if I may, I'd like to impose myself in between Tin and the remaining Kreen, if possible.
Yes, I am going to make a morale check for him. He's pretty crazed. His morale's quite high, but I'm going to roll it anyway. 17s, and I get a 13. Nope, he's sticking around. And the 2 against Portek, likewise. 12. No, okay, so yeah, they elect to fight on for now. Initiative, please. Another rubbish roll from the Kreen. Useless bloody bugs. Right, Bingle Bangle, what you get? 7?
What was that? Yes, a 7.
Okay, Portek, 4. Matthias,
6.
6. Ra, I can't see, it's gone off the screen. Oh, that's
And 9.
Yeah. And 10. Where are we? 8. Okay, good. Right, Portek, go.
Portek moves past the guy in front of him.
Yep.
Towards Tin.
Yes.
And
You do have rapid retreat, so he doesn't get an attack against you.
Yep. And I'm going to put Cure Serious on Tin.
On Tin. Okay.
Yeah.
You duck between his wall of wood, and you can give me a healing roll for the Cure Serious, please.
Stop swinging your wood around.
Put it down.
It's Mother's Day. I have to.
Stop playing with
Okay,
it.
Matthias. You go blind.
I will come in first to see if it hits for a trick.
No.
That fouls. Try again. Come on, why does it take so long? 35.
Yeah. Okay. So you trip the remaining Kreen on Tin. Falls flat on its mandibly face.
With my
after an embarrassing first
offhand,
attempt.
literally holding the whip. Can I drop it, whip out a dagger, and stab it?
Absolutely.
I healed Tin for 13, Mark.
Got it. Tin, many of your wounds close. You
28 to hit.
50 hit points. Yes, absolutely. You strike down overhead with your star metal dagger. It punches clear through the Kreen's carapace and deals how much damage?
8 off.
8.
And I fade away.
Okay, and you roll back into the shadows, even as the Kreen spins around trying to figure out who you are and where you've gone. Moments later, Bingle Bangle.
Yes.
There are 2 still. In fact, they're on you because Portek has buggered off to.
Yeah, Portek's just left me, prick. Right. So I guess whichever one's closest.
Yep, they're both pretty damn close.
Aye. So this is another 1, 2, 3. 1.
You just killed a sloth in one round, so
we're
let's
sorry
come on,
that you can handle yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that one is 12 there, and then roll damage for the other 4.
Okay.
Does he need to?
Okay, the
36.
In a mad flurry of singing sticks, you are not even sure consciously of doing it. It's muscle memory and training. Super fast, super deadly, super lethal, super dead Kreen. 2 Kreen
Nice.
bodies drop to either side of the halfling gladiator. Tin.
Seeing the one that's been put on the ground near me, I'm going to switch off to my bow, as it were, and just quickly release 3 arrows, just the
Point
limbs just
blank.
point blank to this Kreen. And let's see what 23, a 37. That's a nat 20. That's good. And a 31.
Yeah, all hit.
Okay, so One of them's gonna, let's see here, sheaf. Where is it? Short range, right here. 1, 2, 3.
I feel like you haven't fired your bow in ages.
Well, you guys are always hurt so badly that I need to heal. So
You're
it's
not
gonna be
sure if it's dead after the second arrow, or the third one makes sure.
Oh, okay.
Pop out from the shadows.
Crunch.
It was my dagger that
One of
did
its
it.
limbs trembles slightly against the ground.
Okay.
At that, I will just turn around and towards Bengal and see what he does with the last one.
There's no last one.
Bagal has already killed the other three.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
way
well-
ahead of you, bro. Yeah,
Well,
they're
I
dead.
wouldn't have seen it from where I was, so
No,
I'll turn
you're like,
around and just notice that it's dead, and just at that point, I'll just retrieve my arrows from the dead crane.
Pick up my whip.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nobody saw that.
Does Tin need more healing?
Yeah, that's fine. Tin will take care of himself, so that way, you retain your spells.
Tin, you're 25 off max.
Yep. Let me go to my healing tab because it's the best tab.
25 of max.
So I will do a cure critical on myself.
Yeah.
I have to find the window so I can do 3d8. It'll be 17 on that one. And
17, so 67.
67.
Eight
How
off.
much am I short?
8.
Oh, I'm only short 8. Oh, okay. Well, I certainly sure as hell don't need that. Where's my? I'll just do a cure serious.
Yeah.
So just let's see, where's that? 2d8.
Why so serious?
Okay, so that's gonna be 5, 6. It's gonna be 7.
All right. Okay. So, as is according to ancient tradition, you are completely fine, except for one small spot here on your elbow.
It's always that spot. It's always just it's that one.
You gotta be
Difficult to reach.
The gods demand it. Yes. Okay. And that's as quickly over as it began. 2 rounds to take on a half a dozen Kreen. There were the times when such encounters would have tested you to your extreme. Those days are long gone.
Depends on the cream, though.
It doesn't depend.
Let's hope that they don't have any tick-ticks.
Exactly.
Have a quick
There are
listen.
no more Kreen that day. Sorry, say again, Lee?
So have a quick listen before we move on.
Yeah, you hear no sound of any others nearby. The Kreen did not rise to the top. Shame! Shame! The Kreen make no further reappearances that day or the next. You've never been this far south, Bagal, and you've certainly never made such good time through the jungle. Your little halfling companions are almost nonchalant, trotting along on the little jungle road, shooting bird calls at each other, an old halfling game as to who can do the best mimicry and who can produce the best results. You kind of want to get them to be a bit more serious, but it's been so long since you're among your own people that you can barely bring yourselves to. That night is spent in a tree, loosely tied to broad spreading limbs by vines, just in case there are more Kreen wandering around in the jungles below. Kreen, of course, can't climb. They do not rise to any top. The next day, you know you will reach the Valley of the Thinkmaker. The map, the road, all points to it. And your first sign that you are near your destination is the sudden appearance of ruins. Cracked marble stones overgrown with lush weeds. Vines stretching from marble pillars, suspending huge sheets of moss. The road passes through this and then opens up into a wide valley. Mist fills it. A broken mass of low marble ruins rises at its heart, with a couple of other smaller ruined buildings spread out along the length of the valley. There is a map, don't worry, I will give you one. There are a pair of halflings standing at the edge of the ruins. Not refugees, some southern clan. Seeing your scouts, seeing you, Bingle Bangle, they walk forward. And the rest of you hear little fluted, hooting conversations as one of the halflings asks, "Who comes to the Valley of the Thinkmaker?"
Bingal, and my companions.
The Thinkmaker expects you.
Yeah.
He has seen you're coming from afar. Come, we take you to him.
I gesture for everybody to follow me.
Do so.
What are they saying?
The Thinkmaker was expecting us, apparently.
Shock.
Can the Thinkmaker wait until after we've had a rest from our journey before we deal with it?
There's the map of the valley for you. You'll see one scar on the map is 200 feet. It is considerable size. The Thinkmaker, his name they tell you as they walk you down toward the heart of the valley, is Pack. The central ruin is where they lead you to. Water runs through the valley and rough dirt paths skirt it. You are led across small streams on rope and log bridges that marble stones must once have spanned. And after a circuitous journey through that central ruin, you arrive at an archway shaped of brambleweed. You've seen other halflings as well as you make your way down the valley, past the water, and into the overgrown ruin at its heart. Maybe a dozen of them in overall. They seem well-fed, comfortable. Clearly this is their home. At the heart of the ruin, there's a clearing surrounded by trees where a huge brown and grey striped cat lies curled up on its side. Yellow eyes stare at you indifferently as it flicks its barbed tail. A kidde, like those you saw on the peaks, but this one. Big, muscled, sleek. Resting as if in a chair, with as a halfling, leaning back into the legs and against the belly of the Kire. His hair is a mass of matted grey. His expression one of serene calm. He stands. He's wearing just a breechcloth and holds a staff set with a water blue gem at the top.
Water
almost-
blue, you say?
Yes.
Oh.
You almost immediately feel a pressure against your mind. As the Think Maker attempts telepathy. Do you wish to admit his thoughts so you can hear them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we all being affected, or is this only Bengal?
It's all of you.
I see whether I can keep it out, but I have my doubts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's yes from Bingle Bangle, yes from Matthias, no from Portek. Tin? No. Okay. Your meager psychic defenses, in your case, Constantine, 6 whole psionic power points. Portek, you have a few more. There's no aggressive pressure from the Think Maker. You know that he could open your minds by force if he wished to. He frowns slightly and then speaks. Welcome, pilgrims. I trust that you are eating well.
We are.
Well enough.
Mm. What was the last thing before you heard before you crashed, Lee?
He just started talking to us that we've eaten well. And
Okay, right. Okay, so have you eaten well? And Bingle Bangle
I saw you from afar.
asked. Yeah, Bingle Bangle asked. We're looking for a friend. Maybe you know him. His name's Korgunard.
Ah, okay.
Apparently,
And,
Korgunard's just here, chilling, doing
And
some work.
Pack said he is here. He didn't mention pilgrims to me. I don't know why. He has been consumed in his work. I am surprised that he has not contacted you.
That's fishy, isn't it?
That's unfortunate.
So, will you take us to him?
Well, he is in the sanctuary, and your minds are not disciplined enough to reach there. In Korgunard's state, it is likely that he is unaware of the passage of time. But it might be possible for you to meet. Come. This way.
He contacted us about 3 weeks ago.
He leads you out of his ruin and starts walking you down the valley toward one of the outer ruins. This one over here specifically. Looks to be just a really kind of simple roof with some columns around it, sitting up on a small platform. Yes, Pack says as he walks. He was very agitated about this psionic null field. I told him that I believe the power to silence the mind comes from the cradle of the Dragon's Crown mountains. He gestures toward his staff with the blue gem on top. My staff here protects me from its reach. Korgunard asked that I offer him access to the sanctuary so he might prepare himself to challenge that power. He has been secluded there since. You are friends of his, and by now you're kind of halfway down the path and you can clearly see it's just a really small, simple temple, largely open to the air, columns around the side. You think, Portek, that it was probably dedicated to one of the moons at some point? Some kind of moon worship?
Right.
You are friends of his? Pack asks as you walk.
We are.
And he's walking in front of us?
Yeah, kind of looking back over his shoulder, chatting as he walks, leading the way toward the little temple of Raoul.
I will activate detect lies while I'm walking as well.
Yeah, okay.
Just to be sure.
So you seek, like him, to put this matter of the Nullfields to rest?
A lot of people
we
are
seek
suffering.
him. We seek him for now. This is the most important. Yeah.
Well, I get such few visitors here. There's always a matter of great interest. You finally arrive at the small temple. Please, sit with me.
I'll take a seat.
Pack enters the bare stones of the temple floor and sits down cross-legged.
I make an observation check before entering that place.
An empty ruin. There's nothing remarkable about it. Small signs on the ceilings, the colonnades, the pillars suggest that it was almost certainly dedicated to Raoul. I will attempt to contact him. Closes his mind, and you can feel a tremor of psionic power. His eyes roll back in his head. And when he speaks, it is Korgunard's voice that emerges from his mouth. Finally, you have come. I will need you for my transformation. Be at this temple of Raoul tonight at high moon. Then we may be finally together. And it is at the end of his words that they fade away as if going into a great distance. Pack shakes his head. Right. That is 3 hours away. He looks toward where the sun is, just low on the horizon. Raoul already visible in the sky. I think he means for me to bring you into the sanctuary. Your minds may not be disciplined enough for it, but I will try.
Try your hardest.
Do not know what he means by a transformation, though. Does this have meaning to you?
Is this all the truth, by the way?
Okay. That last thing, I don't know what he means by transformation. That's not true. Everything else he's been saying is true.
So he knows what that means. We don't necessarily. He has some idea.
The only transformation you've encountered was when you first met Korgunard, when he changed from being... In fact, it was the whole thing that caused him to be a druid, when he changed from being a golden-skinned man to a gossamer with the wings and the aura and everything.
You know what that means. The transformation part.
I remember the initial transformation. I don't know what this one means or what it even is.
He has done this before then.
Until I see what's happening, I won't know if he's done this before, but he has transformed once before.
At high moon tonight, when Ral is overhead, its light will shine upon the temple, and I will take you to Korgunard. That last hovers on the edge of truth and lie. Until then, I will rest in meditation, marshalling my powers. Please, my valley is yours. Unless anybody waylays him, Pax stands and, resting gently on his staff, departs the
Are we safe here?
little temple. Are you safe? You are under my protection now.
So that's a yes or a no?
In general, are we safe here?
Yes. At the moment he says it, it's true. And his grey hair swaying over his shoulders, he heads back toward the central ruin.
We should probably get some rest.
Did he leave? Did he leave any of his belongings?
Not at all, no. Oh, sorry. Are you asking him?
Yes.
So you're following after him?
Yeah, just ask him. Yeah, following after him and ask him.
He did not.
Oh. Okay. He took everything with him into the sanctuary, you say?
He left none of his belongings with me.
Okay.
Pax smiles, warmly and friendly, and takes his leave.
See you tonight, right?
When Ral is high.
Once he's gone, I will turn to my companion and say, we should probably get some rest ourselves before tonight. We don't know what we're going to be walking into. Matthias, that sounded perfect, but if you could speak louder and not muted.
That was muted.
It is but 3 hours before this happens. We can't really get rest.
There was many lies in his words, just so you know.
Well, we'll
Are you
just
surprised?
have to be one step ahead of him.
Cortex sits himself down and touches his hands on the earth here and goes into a meditation.
I start eating jerky.
Okay.
I will likewise make this my place of power.
At the end of this meditation, which lasts about 10 minutes,
yep,
he ends it in an incantation, which is a divination spell.
Right.
Earth. Roots of this place. Tell me, if we show up at our meeting tonight, would this be a wise thing to do?
The earth answers. The bones of the mountains grinding and creaking. You feel the vibrations up through your hands and into your body, and they sound in your mind like words. It is wisdom to know. But the road to knowledge brings pain.
Kortek opens his eyes and speaks out loud what the earth has told him.
A sacrifice.
It tells me that we seek to gain by this meeting, but we will suffer hardship through it.
Just depends whether or not it's worth it.
It's just a guiding element of the earth. It will not be too specific, but it will tell us a little bit more that we need to be on our guard for this meeting.
That we can do.
Okay. 3 hours then. 3 hours until you are to turn or remain here at the Temple of Ral 3 hours until Pack the Thinkmaker says he will take you to Korgunard. Is there anything specific you want to do in those 3 hours?
Yes.
What?
I'm giving some stone skins to my peeps.
Your peeps. Okay.
Yes.
I will be attuning myself to this area.
Yes, good.
I will gather information.
And I'm gonna eat some more jerky.
More jerky. Okay, I'll roll a bunch of stone skins for people. Wow, these are some amazing rolls. Holy shit. Okay, these are all almost entirely max. Portek unleashes the power of the earth upon you, hardening your skin like stone, and bloody hell, produces a bevy of truly superlative stone skin protections. You feel thoroughly girded. Bengal Bagal, the jerky is a little dry, actually. But still, jerky is jerky. It fills your belly. Okay.
Want to gather information from me?
From who?
Just the halflings and people.
The other halflings around there?
Yeah.
Make me a gather information check, yeah.
Oh, for God's
You
sake.
don't speak halfling, though, do you?
That's probably why I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, there you go. That's where you get natural 20. The halflings just stare at you in complete incomprehension at your inability to hoot. The sun sets. Ral rises higher and higher into the heavens. And as its reddish light finally fills the center of the temple, you see Pack walking his way up the valley path back towards you.
Just before the sun sets.
Yeah.
I will summon an earth elemental.
Okay.
And I will tell it, once summoned, to stay in the earth and hide there until I call it forth.
The immense roiling form of soil and rock growls its understanding and approval and merges back into the earth, invisible until you call it forth. Pack is with you a short while later. It is time, he says. You are ready?
For what?
I will open a portal and lead you through. Observe. And again, psychic concentration. And ahead of you, there appears a shimmering gray portal, oval-shaped, a dimensional door of some kind. Follow me, Pack says, steps through, and vanishes.
I follow.
The gray portal remains.
Okay.
Are you guys following?
Yes.
Yep, just dumb enough to do it.
I'm telling my earth elemental to follow me too.
Okay. And Ra also?
I'm gonna ask my halflings to stay on this side, though.
They seem quite relieved at that.
I'll
go.
follow along.
Oh, yes, we'll catch up in a second. You follow Pack through the portal. Pack is not on the other side. You have no idea what the hell has happened. There is a sudden sickening lurch. The ground is lost to darkness, and you feel momentarily suspended in air before you plummet downward. There comes sudden and immediate pain. It's like your flesh is being stripped from your bones as you realize you have fallen into darkness filled with some kind of monstrous plant. I see a hand up there, Tin. What is it?
I have a ring. I do not fall fast.
Right. Okay. So your companions drop below you. Constantine, you slowly descend, and it's in the last moments as your eyes adjust to the gloom, you see what has happened. You're in some kind of subterranean chamber. It is filled almost entirely with a vast, writhing mass of some kind of mutated brambleweed plant. Your companions are already ensnared within it. There's thorns wrapping around them. It is toward this that you descend, unable to slow your descent. It's almost even more horrifying. Inch after inch after inch.
Am I falling? Am I able to cast flight on myself?
You know what? We're going to have to give an answer to that next session. As we leave your friends encased in brambleweed and you descending toward it. That is where we leave our heroes for this session. In the clutches of Pack the Thinkmaker, dirty little halfling bastard.